Tonight, we return to Lab People Stadium to renew a long-standing rivalry. Williamson and BC Rain have played each other 45 times. For the past 2 years, they haven't met. Williamson has won 3 in a row over BC Rain, and they want to pick up where they left off in 2019 with another win. Can the Red Raiders defend home turf and stave those pesky Lions off? We're about to find out. Good evening and welcome to the MCPSS High School Football Kickoff Show. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. Corey, a win tonight for either of these teams is going to go a long way.
I agree with you. When you start talking about this type of rivalry, the rivalry on the bridge, the battle on the bridge, where if you go either way, you have these two schools that are very familiar with one another, but more importantly, we're talking about playoff positioning tonight.
We sure are. As I said in the open, they haven't met in the past 2 years, pretty much due to reclassification. Williamson dropped down to 4A a couple of years ago, but now they're back into 5A, and that's a region that BC Rain pretty much plays in all the time. So let's take a look at the region standings, and you can kind of see what we're talking about right here, Corey LeBounty.
Faith Academy, you start talking about them being 2-1, UMS Wright being 4-0, but you look at Williamson right in the middle of the pack being 2-1, and you start talking about this BC Rain team being 1-1. You want to go ahead, the top 4 positions will make the playoffs. So that's why this game is so critical as far as from a playoff positioning standpoint.
BC Rain lost to Faith Academy last week, and either of these teams have yet to play UMS Wright or play Gulf Shores, which is still coming up later in the schedule. So the game tonight really has a lot of playoff positioning kind of early in the season.
And that's what it's about. I mean, you have to take every single game like it is a playoff opportunity, even your non-region contest, because that's part of the formula when you try to determine a tiebreaker process at the end of the year. So with that being said, you're talking about two teams tonight that know each other very well. We have some players on both rosters that used to play for the other schools, so we'll keep an eye on that. And there's a family line of tradition from one school to the other. You may be playing for Williams but had relatives at BC Rain, so that aspect of it is always interesting. But we're going to have a great contest here at Lab People Stadium.
We sure are. Corey, let's get into your checklist. Williamson is the visiting team, so what do they need to do tonight to capture the win?
They have to cause a rain-run drought. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about being able to contain Bryce Dowling, the human bowling ball, and that's what they're going to have to do, contain the run game. They have to prevent penalties. They don't want a lot of old, dirty yellow rags on the field tonight that slow up the tempo for Williamson, and they have to win the Williamson way. What do I mean by that? Antonio Coleman has stressed hashtag why not Williamson, but getting better and focusing in on Williamson every game. We'll see at the end of the game if they won the Williamson way. When you start talking about BC Rain, they have to sustain drives. They cannot go 3 and out tonight because they have depth issues, and that's the second thing on my checklist. How deep is the depth for BC Rain? And that's going to be critical because they've had some injuries here the last couple of weeks. And reigning special teams with the backup punter in the game tonight being able to flip the field, we may see BC Rain go for it on 4th and long, depending on what the field position is.
All right, and speaking of the field, it's time to check in with Kimberly Dunn, our third member of the team for the BSN weather forecast. Kimberly, I went outside yesterday. I cut my grass. It was feeling so good. I said, whoa, they may not even have heat timeouts tomorrow night. It's feeling good. How are things down on the field?
You said it right, Al. It feels amazing on the field. Finally starting to get a little bit of that fall weather. We're hoping that we can hold on to that. At kickoff time, we'll be looking at 82 degrees with clear skies. We shouldn't have to worry about any rain, any sprinkles, any of that tonight. We're going to have a slight wind coming out of the southeast at about 4 miles per hour, and humidity is only at about 49%. So it should feel good on this field all night tonight for these players. Hopefully we won't have any injuries or cramps related to the heat, and hopefully everyone will stay cool and play some amazing football.
Thanks, Kimberly. We do appreciate that. Had a chance to talk to Whitehead Jonathan King, and Corey, he said he's going to play it by ear for the Heat timeout. So I guess we just have to be ready if he calls one or not tonight.
It's what we call that fake fall.
The fake fall.
As far as the forecast, the BSN-wise is concerned. But when you start looking at cramps here in week number 5 of high school football, you've kind of become acclimated, and with the cooler temperatures and the great lack of rain, even though we're playing on artificial turf, it'll make a difference in the contest. The cooler temperatures at kickoff.
Speaking of making a difference, who is your impact players for tonight? Williamson, we know they play all their home games here, but they're actually the visiting squad tonight.
Absolutely. Yusuf Clark is a striking linebacker. He's only a sophomore, and he puts you in the mindset of Robert Woodard, the young man who has gone to play for Auburn University. Yusuf is only a sophomore, Al, so look for him. And also the quarterback, Jeremy Williams. He is a senior, but this is his first year at quarterback, coming over from the defensive end position. When you start looking at impact players for the Red Raiders, none other than Bryce Dowling, the running back. He's going to wear number 3. We call him the bowling ball. He's so low and compact to the ground. He runs with a lot of power and force, and if he's healthy, he can be a difference maker. 160 yards against Viger in the 4th quarter 3 weeks ago. Ricky Nichols, he's another striker for the Red Raiders. He had over 22 tackles a couple of weeks ago in one game alone against the Viger Wolves. So look to hear his name called a lot for the Red Raiders also.
Corey, I'm glad I was paying attention to your impact players. I see Bryce Dowling is wearing 3 tonight, so I went to my flip chart and wrote that down. So thanks to the crew down there for getting the video to help us out.
Absolutely, because he's normally number 1, and that's what we become accustomed to. But with all the injuries and the jersey changes for BC Rain, good catch by the crew tonight, and definitely keep an eye on number 3 in red.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the MCPSS High School Football Kickoff Show. Headed your way, we're going to have the kickoff coming up at the top of the hour right here on the MCPSS TV network.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
The lights are on at Lab People Stadium for a special Thursday night matchup. Williamson and BC Rain are ready to get at it after both teams go down last week in shutouts. This is the 46th meeting and has region ramifications attached. So the heat is on for both teams to show up and show out tonight. Get ready for a special Thursday night edition of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey Labounty on the sidelines. We have Kimberly Dunn and Corey. An interesting ball game we're going to have tonight. These teams haven't played in 2 years. We talked about that in the kickoff. But, man, they're meeting up now, and it's a lot at stake.
When you say there's a lot at stake, I call it pride and position, because that's what they're playing for. They're playing for a lot of bragging rights because, again, you start looking at the location of the two schools, located less than 5 miles apart from one another, as well as you're talking about positioning in 5A Region 1, which this year could possibly be the toughest region in the entire state of Alabama. We always talk about 6A Region 1 being a buzzsaw, the SEC West. so to call it. But here it is, 5A Region 1 is pretty tough this year as well.
Yeah, you're right about that. Last week, it was UMS Wright and Gulf Shores, a top 10 matchup. And then tomorrow night is UMS Wright and Viger, another top 10 matchup, as BC Rain wins the toss, and they're going to defer until the second half. So we'll get our first look at the Williamson Lions coming off kickoff tonight.
Yes, I mean, when you start talking about winning the toss and decided to defer, that means that you're going to go ahead and have confidence in your defense. And this is a defense that did a tremendous job a couple of weeks ago, and you're led by a defensive coordinator, Sean Burney. And Coach Burney was the head football coach at LaFleur High School a year ago and has now come over to Red Raiderland as the defensive coordinator. And this defense giving up 21 points per game, but don't let that fool you, because when you start talking about the amount of points they gave up to Faith Academy 1 week ago, that kind of put a dent through your 3 weeks of action for the BC Rain Red Raiders.
Yeah, it was 34 points, Corey, and we talked about it. You talked about it in the intro with your checklist with special teams. Rain is on their third punter of the season. They lost one in the Viger game. He went out with a broken leg, and lost one last week against Faith Academy, unfortunately, to a broken ankle. So they're now down to their third punter, and they had open tryouts this week. So Tristan Page is going to be responsible for the duties tonight. I kind of looked at Coach Yeldon and said, now, did you assign it to him, or did he actually try it? He said, well, I kind of assigned it to him, Al. But, I mean, he thought about putting his son back there, Court, but he doesn't want to risk Amari Yeldon getting hurt.
Well, when you start talking about your starting quarterback also having problems with the snap, you don't want to take a risk in getting your starting quarterback injured on special teams.
Correct.
Now, again, from a depth standpoint, you do see some players play all aspects, special teams, offense, and defense, but when you only have one go-to quarterback, as the Red Raiders do, you want to make sure you keep him. If anything's going to happen, you want to make sure it's happened while he's on offense and not punting the football away.
Correct. Williamson defeated BC Rain 12-0 back in 2019. That was the last time they met, and they are on a 3-game winning streak against Rain, having outscored them 60-7 in their last 3 matchups, Corey.
Well, it's a situation here to where Antonio Coleman, in his first year as head football coach of the Williamson Lions, no stranger to this Maysville community, though.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Played here at Williamson High School, and again, when you start looking on the other sidelines for the Red Raiders, they want to go ahead and change that point margin here tonight. At the end of the day, though, all that matters is for the Red Raiders to win by 1 or more on the scoreboard.
That's all it comes down to, is getting the W. And we are moments away from kickoff here at Ladd Stadium. We were here 2 weeks ago for Murphy and Theodore, and we're back for another Thursday night edition of high school football. Heading back for Williamson, Jeremiah Owens, Jermaine McCree as well. Kicking off for BC Rain should be Khalil P. Ryan. And he's looking, he has the tee in his hand as he's kind of searching around for a spot to put the tee down and tee it up so we can get action underway Thursday night here at Ladd Stadium. Al Whedon, Corley Bounty, Kimberly Dunn, statisticians China Powell and Matt Moore. We appreciate you joining us for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Great weather tonight, as Kimberly told us in the pregame kickoff show. I think we're going to have an awesome, awesome night for some good high school football. Fielded by one of the up men, looks like Darion Pugh, at around the 35-yard line. Take a look at the Williamson lineup. Quarterback Jeremy Williams is a 53% passer with dual threat capability. He has 3 touchdowns through the air and 3 on the ground. Leading rusher and workhorse running back Darion Pugh averages 5.5 yards a carry and will line up on defense as well. Look out for leading receiver Jeremiah Owens to haul in passes. He averages 11 yards a catch. Up front, the Lions offensive line returns 2 starters, left tackle Robert McMillan and center LaDerrick Lane. That line averages 246 pounds across the front. The Lions are +7 in the turnover ratio category. 1st and 10, ball at the 36-yard line. Williams tosses it out to Pugh, and he picks up a couple on our first play of the ball game.
Nice swing pass off of the jump. Ricky Nichols, the 5'11", 200-pound sophomore on the tackle, and we mentioned him being one of the impact players, but on that first play, positive yardage of a couple of yards, 2nd down and 8 yards to go for Williamson.
Yeah, that Nichols, we're going to call his name a lot tonight, Corey. He had a great ball game against Viger a couple weeks ago. I was able to watch that one. I believe you were doing the PA for it, and he really showed out that night. 2nd and 7 coming up here, only a 2-yard gain for Pugh. As he moves to the right side of Williams. You talked about him at the top of the broadcast. He's a senior, but this is his first year playing quarterback, played defensive end last year for the Lions, and gets the pass completed out to his receiver, Keith Donald. Looks like maybe possibly 1 yard on the reception. 3rd and 6 coming up for Williamson.
Good job of the tackle, Trenton Reese, the 5'5", 145-pound sophomore defensive back with that stop. But here it is, it's money down, and Jonathan King confirmed with his other officials as to, I think it's going to be an equipment issue that's going to send one of the BC Rain Red Raiders to the sidelines temporarily. And that's Dylan Robinson, who had to make his exit, and we're ready for play.
3rd and 7 here for the Lions. If you notice, BC Rain has a little sticker on their helmet. It's something new addition they have this year. They've added first game tonight. Pass incomplete to Donald, couldn't hold on to it. That's going to bring out the punting squad for Williamson as they move to 4th down.
Tyler Helsley, 5'7", 140-pound sophomore in coverage for the Red Raiders. And here it is now. They're going to have an opportunity to get their first chance at having the football. 4th down, and we'll call it 7 yards to go at their own 39 now.
Darion Pugh back to punt, and to receive, setting up at his 30-yard line, Trayvon Reed. Correction, Hakeem Green, former Williamson player. Punt looked like it was slightly tipped at the line, Corey, but it gets off. Nice roll right there for Pugh. Take a look at the BC Rain offense. Quarterback Amari Yelding is a 45% passer with 3 passing touchdowns. But this offense goes through running back Bryce Dowdland. Dowdland has just over 300 yards on the ground with 2 scores for an 8-yard per rush average. The Red Raiders average 198 rushing yards per game. When they throw, look for wide receiver transfer Hakeem Green to make big plays. He is a speedster. Up front, the Red Raiders average 249 pounds and are led by junior center Jamarcus Coates. He grades out 90% of his tackles, and he's a fire plug, checking in at 5'10", 230. 1st and 10, ball on the 21-yard line. And we have our first flag of the ball game.
And I'm going to make that change. I think Bryce Dowdland is still number 1 in the backfield, Al. Just looking at it, it's hard to tell.
Well, there's a 1 and there is a 3 back there for BC Rain as well, Corey. You're right, but I'm with you. That appears to be Dowland back there with 1 on.
KJ Simpson.
So that's KJ Simpson, number 3.
Correct.
He's kind of coming off an injury. 1-yard pickup for Dowland. That was a false start on BC Rain, pushed him back 5 yards.
And that is official. KJ Simpson is number 3 in red, and Bryce Dowdland is number 1 for the Red Raiders, who are wearing the red jerseys tonight.
Yeah, Coach Yeldon told me they kind of added that sticker tonight. Kind of a new look, kind of a new brand for the Red Raiders. It looks good tonight going against the solid silver helmet there. 2nd and 15, no gain for Dowland there. Yeldon rolls out. Just going to flip it off to Simpson. And he's close to picking up the first down where he hauls this one in at, Corey.
And that's just a great job of rolling the pocket. Amari Yelding His coach's son does a good job of making sure he does get outside of the pocket. A nice touch on the football for the completion. And you start talking about the Red Raiders being able to pick up a fresh set of downs on 2nd down and 15. A great play call by offensive coordinator Famous Davis.
Ball on the 33-yard line. Trip receivers to the top for the Red Raiders. They fake it to Dowling and throw the quick pass to the man in the slot there, Antonio Williams. He picks up a couple. 2nd down for the Red Raiders as they're trying to stay in front of the sticks.
Antonio Williams, the 6'1", 195-pound junior, wants to go ahead and cut that upfield after he makes that catch. Doesn't want to run laterally, but nonetheless, he does bring it in for a BC Rain completion. 2nd and 5 is what we'll officially call it.
I'm with you, Corey. Ladd has it 2nd and 7. It looks like he did pick up about 5 yards. Same formation set up here for the Red Raiders. Trayvon Reed at the bottom by himself. They give it to Dowling. Tries to break it outside to the numbers, turns the corner, and he looks as if he has enough to the 1st down as he gets out of bounds. Let's take a look at the Williamson defense. The Lions play a 3-4, and the line average is 245 pounds. Tonight they start a 7th grader at defensive end, DeMarcus Dale Brown. The other defensive end, Tremarcus Petway, has never played football before this year, but he leads the team with 11 tackles for loss. Behind them, linebacker Yusuf Clark and Tyreek Gaines are tackling machines in the secondary. 6-foot free safety Taj Overton will be all over the field. He averages 7 tackles a game and has 2 fumble recoveries.
Personal foul, late hit on defense.
And I don't know
So
if we're able to take a
15
look at that,
on top of that.
that replay, and you will see the late hit out of bounds right on the far sidelines there by one of the Williamson Lions. And I don't know if it was Charles Harris coming over from his safety position making that, but Jonathan King is our white hat tonight.
Yeah, the rest of the official, Chad Burns, Scooter Collins, Carlos Fortune, Lawrence Hogues, and the rest of the squad. 1st and 10, ball on the 42. Up the middle goes Dowling for about a 3 or 4 yard carry. Takes BC Rain to 2nd down. We weren't able to get the replay up, Corey, but there, the late hit, we saw it up here in the booth. So that basically tacked on an extra 15 for the Red Raiders.
Well, when you start talking about this replay, as he tried to bounce to the outside, you just go ahead and you hit him just a little bit late. Look at the stiff arm and the closing Williamson line defender, and there it is, the safety. It is Charles Harris guilty on that play, but short yardage situation, 2nd and 7 now for the Red Raiders.
Play action. They get it back out to Williams. And he has enough for the 1st down as he is near the 30-yard line of Williams.
The Red Raiders just taking what this Williamson Lions defense has given them. Defensive coordinators Donnell Stanley and Reginald Mitchell out of this 3-4 defense for the Lions. The Red Raiders were able to go ahead and pick up another 1st down and have a good drive going here on their first possession now.
1st and 10, ball on the 30-yard line. Back to Dowling they go. Darion Pugh waiting on him as he lays the lumber. No gain on the play for the Red Raiders.
Good job of your linebackers, Orrin Wilson and Darion Pugh, as you just mentioned, coming and tag teaming on that tackle, but no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go now for the Red Raiders, who are in no hurry in regards to playing quickly in a tempo because of their depth. Anytime they're able to grind down this clock, that's exactly what they want to do.
Kind of the opposite. BC Rain has a bit more experience than Williamson, but Williamson has more players, but they're younger. And you're right about that depth issue for the Red Raiders tonight, lined up in the pistol formation. Almost gave it to Dowling, but Yielding dumps it off, just throws it away. Smart move by him because the heat was coming on his back.
When you start bringing that pressure, you need to throw the football away because you don't want to have a loss in yards. Now 3rd down and 10, and that's just a great heads-up job by your junior quarterback. To know that there was nothing there, he could feel the pressure from his blind side coming as he rolled away from the pressure, was able to throw that out of bounds, and now you're at a 3rd and 10, and you don't want to bog down on this drive, but you also don't want to turn the football over either.
You talked about special teams coming into play, Corey. They are outside of field goal range for Joel Hernandez, so they don't pick it up right here. We're looking at a 4-down situation for the Red Raiders as we approach 6 minutes inside the first quarter. Yeldon escapes, goes up the middle, but he is wrapped up right there by Tyreek Gaines, inside linebacker. Maybe picked up 2 or 3, so it's 4th down here coming up for the Red Raiders.
Darion Pugh came from his outside linebacker position, and Yeldon felt the heat and stepped up in the pocket and was able to gain just about 3 yards. But here it is, 4th down and along 7 yards to go. We'll see if they're able to get the ball to their tight end or their slot receiver where they've had success earlier in this drive.
Antonio Williams goes up to the top outside of the numbers. Yeldon looking that way. They set up a little screen for Dowland, who's headed toward the 1st down marker. Did he get it? Let's see where they mark him. You can see official Scooter Collins over there. I believe he may be a yard short, Corey.
He is going to be just a little short. If he would have stretched the football out,
yep,
he might have picked that up. But again, great job of completing the pass. Just going to come up a little bit short here, and it's going to be a turnover on downs.
So Williamson would get to touch the ball for their 2nd time here in the first quarter. And it doesn't appear as if Jonathan King is going to use the heat timeout at 5:18, so we're going to keep it playing. 1st and 10 for Williamson. Ball on the 22. Take a look at the BC Reign defense after this play. Quick pass into the ground, incomplete. The Red Raiders play a 4-3 and are led by 2 big uns up front. Defensive tackles Ashton Wright and Tyler Simmons. Simmons is 6'2", and Wright checks in at 6'3", 270. In the middle is where the Red Raiders really put in work. Leading tackler Mike linebacker Ricky Nichols is a name we'll call a lot tonight, as well as Will linebacker Khalil Pirine. Coach Yeldon described Pirine as a thumper, saying he'll really hit you. In the secondary, cornerback Trayvon Reed will be on pick patrol and will also line up at wide receiver on offense.
That 9-play drive stalled at about the 27-yard line, and now Williamson at 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
First pass incomplete. That one is complete. Stretching out, trying to get that 1st down for the Lions, Keith Donald. And I believe he may have enough as the chains are going to move. 1st down for Williamson.
You look at this great finishing hit. Trayvon Reed, the 5'7", 150-pound senior, lays the lumber at the end. Good job of blowing the shoulder, but an even better job of your H-back, Donald, catching the football and getting positive yardage for the Williamson Lions, a fresh set of downs.
Ball sitting on the 33-yard line. Darion Pugh just to the left of Jeremy Williams. He faked the handoff to Pugh. Toss it outside for a nice gain with the reception to Jeremiah Owens, about 8 or 9 yards on that pass catch.
Dylan Robinson, the 5'10", 165-pound junior cornerback, with the stop on the play, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 1 yard to go for Williamson. And you love these short down and distance situations if you're the Williamson Lions offensive coordinators, Jamal Henry and Jamarcus Russell. Jamal Henry handles the running game for the Williamson Lions, and Jamarcus Russell handles the passing game.
Yeah, Jamarcus is down on the field, and Jamal is up top here in the press box. And we saw them kind of working it before the ball game, going right back to Owens once again, and that should be enough for the 1st down.
Owens, the 5'8", 165-pound senior, makes his 20th reception of the season, but more importantly, here with 3:53 remaining in the first quarter of play, it does pick up another Williamson Lion 1st down.
Puts Williamson on the 46-yard line. Their first series, they were 3 and out. Rain took over with a nice drive, but the drive stalled at about the 22-yard line, and Williamson has taken over here with their second time touching the ball in the first quarter. Continuing that same formation and same pass pattern as they complete it once again to Jeremiah Owens. No flags on the play, and Williamson is in BC Rain territory.
The oohs and ahs you hear from the crowd, and look at him freeze him. His ankle's right here. He puts on the brakes and make Nichols run past him. But it's a great tackle in the open field. But nonetheless, the chains do move. It is another first down for the Williamson Lions.
Williamson on the 40. Possibly a close block in the back was not called. Some of the Rain faithful not happy about that. But the officials did not see it, so no yellow flags. Hand off to Pugh. Cuts it outside after running them that jumble of a miss up the middle. Picks up about 7 yards on the carry, but we do have a penalty marker on the play.
Showed great patience in regards to not being able to hit the hole he wanted to. When he pressed that hole, he was able to bounce it to the outside, but that run may be negated by a penalty flag that comes down.
Got hold on the offense.
Holding against Williamson, so that's going to push him back 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
On the offense. All right.
So it'll be first down here coming up for Williamson, about 1st and 18. The line to gain is the 30-yard line. Trip receivers to the top for Williams as he looks over to the side to get the call. They go back to Pugh once again, and the Red Raiders collide on him and bring the thunder, Corey.
Good job of the tag team tackle for the Red Raiders. Again, Trenton Reese comes up and makes a nice hit for BC Rain, along with his teammate Butch Hodges from his defensive end position. And you start getting behind the sticks down a distance early, you don't want to do that. But we've seen so far the Williamson Lions on the perimeter seeing a lot of things in the flat and going quickly, 1 or 2 step drops and getting rid of the football quickly to get to those wide receivers.
2nd and long for Williamson as we're just under 2 minutes. Williams throws it, completes once again. Well, they're going to say it hit the ground. But no, his knee went down, so he is down right there where his knee went down. Let's see if we can get the replay there where Jeremiah Owens caught the ball.
Good job of coming back to the football.
Yep, right there.
And we're able to catch that. Owens, again, the 5'8", 165-pound senior, does make a great catch. But here it is. It's money down for the Red Raiders. 3rd down and 12 yards to go. If you're BC Rain, you want to find a way to get off the field defensively and force Williamson to either go for it on 4th down or to punt the football away. But you definitely want to try to bring up a 4th down situation.
Lions here on the near side of the hash. And I believe we're going to have a timeout called. Timeout by Williamson here at 1:12 remaining in the first quarter. Interesting contest so far, Corey. Both teams kind of taking their time as they get down the field, but trying to deliberately work the clock to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams, when you start talking about Darion Pugh playing both ways for the Williamson Lions, this is a young man that, in coaches' terms, we call it a dog. And what do we mean by being a dog? We mean he's just ferocious offensively and defensively and can play both sides of the football. But here it is, the longer the drive goes, the longer he has to stay on the field. But you definitely want your quarterback, Jeremy Williams, to make the correct reads. And as long as he's doing that and hitting these wide receivers in the flat and on these comeback routes and completing the passes, Williamson will continue to keep this BC Rain Red Raider defense on the field, where depth does become a factor as the game goes along.
Big play coming up right here, 3rd and 12 for Williamson. The line to gain is the 30-yard line. Al Whedon, Corley Bounty, Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines, bringing you this special Thursday night edition of high school football for the MCPSS high school football game of the week. Trip receivers to the top for the Lions. They're passing it. Williams goes across the middle, finds Owens. Owens knocked out of bounds by Trayvon Reed near the 5 or 4 yard line. I don't see any flags on the play. That was a big play for the Williamson Lions.
Great job of him stepping up in the pocket because he was able to avoid the rushing BC Rain Red Raider Butch Hodges Jr. And you look at Jeremiah Owens putting the Lions into the red zone territory for the first time tonight.
Ball placed on the 3 yard line. First and goal coming up for the Williamson Lions. Handoff on the carry for Williamson. Owen Wilson comes over from defense core with the carry. Gets it almost to the 1. Second and goal coming up here for the Lions. Same formation, same package.
A lot of beef up front. You just want to make sure under center you take that snap cleanly.
And into the end zone. That is a score for the Williamson Lions.
Good push up front by LaDerrick Lane, Jason Jefferson, and Jaquan McKinney doing a great job of getting that push to the delight of Jamarcus Russell on the sidelines.
1 yard score. But that caps a great drive put together by Williamson.
And that was a 9-play drive that stalled for BC Rain, and here it is, a 7-yard drive for the Williamson Lions, and they were able to go ahead and capitalize a 9-yard drive, 10-yard drive.
We're going to take a break and come back. Williamson on top right now, 6-0. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
There's a lot to like about Mobile County Public Schools.
What I enjoy about Mobile County School is the extra attention my teachers give us to help us learn.
Teachers are liking their access to technology, and students are liking the quality of their education.
I like the technology that's been incorporated into my education.
And since 1826, you have trusted us to prepare your child for their future, and we like that. Mobile County Public Schools. We are learning today, leading tomorrow.
We welcome you back to Lab People Stadium. Just before the period expires, Williamson gets on the board with a 1-yard run from Jeremy Williams on top 6-0. Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty on the sidelines, Kimberly Dunn. Great drive put together right there by the Lions, Corey.
Actually, it was a 10-yard drive there, so when you start looking at the 7-yard drive that was turned away by Williamson, they were able to quickly flip it on their second offensive possession and put our first points on the board. The point after, no good, Al.
And that kick goes out of bounds. BC Rain's going to get some great field position. Firehouse Subs, where for a limited time, get your Italian favorites for $6.99. Choose from the medium Firehouse meatball or Italian, but it's for a limited time only. So visit our friends Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Also, thanks to BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to volleyball and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com. Corey, I was looking at the pants for the Williamson Lions, and they're wearing BSN pants tonight.
Absolutely. You have
Saw the
brand
logo.
ambassador there.
Yeah.
And it's a situation here to where we'll see if BC Rain is able to go ahead and bounce back. After that nice drive they had that stalled, they were able to move the football successfully with Amari Yelding rolling out the pocket. And we'll see if he's able to do that on this drive also.
First and 10 for the Red Raiders at the 20. Up the middle goes Bryce Dowdland, picks up maybe 1 or 2 on the carry. And that's probably going to carry us to the end of the first quarter as the play clock is at 35 and the game clock is at 12. So Yielding really doesn't have to snap this if he doesn't want to.
Gaines and Wilson in the hole making the stop for the Lions, but a very exciting first quarter.
I agree.
We're at 6-0, Al.
That's going to wrap it up the first quarter. Williamson scores just before the end on top 6-0 over BC Rain. Stick with us. We'll be back with second quarter action for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi. Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you? Good. How are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities.
If you're looking for fun, fashionable, and affordable jewelry, it's here. It's Paparazzi. We have a variety of colors and styles of bracelets, rings, necklaces, and earrings for all occasions and for every event. New styles are added daily, which means you are always up to date with the latest fashion. For that genuine bling, join me, Charmaine Watson, the real jewelry lady, on Facebook Live Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. It's cute, it's fun, it's fashion, it's $5, it's Paparazzi.
We thank you for joining us for this special Thursday night edition of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. It's Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty, and Kimberly Dunn in the truck. Wade Ford, Quentin Howard, and our engineer Fran Conway roaming the grounds of Lad People Stadium, keeping us on the air. Fumble snap right there.
Incomplete pop pass.
It's technically incomplete pass. They were trying to get the jet sweep, so that kind of saves Yielding right there, Corey, because they would have been in an awkward spot right there.
Yeah, Trayvon Reed is who the pass was intended to, and it just wasn't a clean exchange in that situation. But anytime that you do have that jet pop pass, it is considered an incomplete. If it does hit the turf, it's not a fumble, and that's a great job by the crew picking up on that one. 3rd down and 9 to go now for the Red Raiders.
Dowling to the left of Yielding. Yielding trying to escape and cannot. It's kind of thrown down by Christian Gill, kind of grabbed him by the shoulder pad. And look at the big fella in the middle court.
Christian Gill, the nose tackle, 5'10", 330-pound sophomore. No face mask called on the play as he was able to tackle with one arm the quarterback Yielding and get him to the ground, and that's going to cause another negative yard situation for the Red Raiders, as this ought to be an adventure as far as this punt is concerned. And we'll see if it's a difference maker here, if it's a clean exchange, Al.
Ball on the 10-yard line. Tristan Page, backup punter. Snap was clean, gets the punt off. Jeremiah Owens going to field it right at the 50 and brought down at about the 47-yard line.
KJ Simpson with the stop for the Red Raiders on special teams. And you like to see, if you're Coach Yielding, anytime you do have a backup punter, you just want to see toe to leather and it to be a positive punt for your team. And now the Williamson Lions will take over after they scored on their second offensive possession. Now this is their 3rd of the night, and we'll see if they're able to put 6 more on the board.
They put up a very long drive there to score and pretty much held BC Rain to 3 and out. So this defense has to be tired as they come back out on the field. Look out for the kill shot for the Williamson Lions. They may go for it. Williams is going to keep it as he lumbers into BC Rain territory, picks up the 1st down. Let's take a look at the first quarter statistics for the ball game and look at the passing yards that Jeremy Williams putting up tonight, Corey. 86 yards so far.
And it's just positive yardage off that one big throw that he had to Jeremiah Owens.
Right.
But You look at only 3 penalties in the first half, but that play right there showed a little bit of tiredness for the Red Raider defense as Ricky Nichols was able to come back after missing the initial tackle, go ahead and go down the field and make the tackle some 20 yards down the field. Fresh set of downs for Williamson.
1st and 10 on the 35. Passing once again, going up top. Almost intercepted as Williamson was trying to connect with Elijah Lucky, and he was in double coverage, Corey.
Jordan Vines, the strong safety sophomore, was not able to come away with that. If he would have caught it, he would have had 1 foot in bounds, but that's a throw that the Williamson Lions were lucky to get away with and not intercepted. 2nd down and 10 now.
Five receivers lined up for Williamson. Empty set. Williams back there by himself. 2nd and 10. Setting up the screen. They do get it to Lucky. He has to go up top to get it. He does, and he gets the 1st down as he crosses the 25-yard line of BC Rain.
Lucky, the 5'9", 155-pound sophomore with the reception. And you look at the replay, and it's a good job of looking off your initial read and setting up the BC Rain defense to flood to one side of the field and going to the opposite. And now you're starting talking about another 1st down for the Williamson Lions. And now with 9:40 remaining here in the 2nd quarter, this Red Raider defense has been on the field for a very long time.
Sure has. It sure has. And I'm pretty sure they could probably go for a heat timeout, but the way the temperatures are, I don't believe Jonathan King will be granting those tonight. A low flare out to Darion Pugh, and boy, he is sandwiched right there behind the line of scrimmage by Justin Harper.
Great open field tackle, textbook style by Justin Harper Jr., the 5'4", 125-pound junior defensive back. As you're not able to get that block, Jeremiah Owens wasn't able to get down on Harper, and because he wasn't able to make that block, it allowed Harper to make an outstanding tackle.
Harper was basically waiting on him, Corey. He was waiting to lay the wood right there. Pushes them back 5 yards. 2nd and 15. Ball sitting at the 30-yard line of BC Rain. Ellis McGaskin checks in, the 8th grader for Williamson, as he goes out to the right. Williams goes to the left, back to Lucky. Not so lucky that time. Incomplete. 3rd and long coming up for the Lions.
And what does it do? It creates a down and distance problem for you if you're Williamson. 3rd and 15. If you're BC Rain, you have to find a way to come up with 4th down right here. And when the officials hold up that fist, that's a signal that it's a 4th down situation, and that's exactly what the Red Raiders are hoping comes away here.
Play clock at 15. Williams is going to keep it. Runs up the 20, close to the 11-yard line, needs to get to the other side of the 15, and he should have enough for the 1st down.
Khalil P. Ryan was able to make the stop. A good job of keeping your eyes down the field, avoiding your linebacker Nichols, and picking up enough for that 1st down. And again, in the red zone area, the Williamson Lions come away with the 1st down on 3rd down and 15. You scramble for the yards needed there, and the clock continues to tick, but the Red Raiders stay on defense.
So they're going to mark it at the 12 as enough moves the sticks. 1st and 10 for Williamson inside of the red zone, their 2nd time tonight. And I think Antonio Coleman may have called timeout. I don't see any flags on the play.
It is. He's on the field.
Yeah.
In that situation.
I believe that's what the call is going to be.
Timeout on the offense.
So we have a timeout right here at 7:58 in the 1st half. Williamson on top, 6-0. Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn. She has a guest with her. What's going on, Kim?
That's right. I'm here with Principal Williams, the principal of BC Rain. We're so excited to speak with you this evening. Thank you for taking time to be with us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm excited about being here.
Yes. So can you tell us about some exciting things that are going on at BC Rain?
Okay, well, our school, we are currently working on, as we did before, we had the airplane bill, and we actually flew the plane. We had the kids to actually fly the plane, and so we are in the process now of establishing that second bill, where we have the kids that are going to do the exact same thing. We currently are, ramping up to get it ready for, which is our area of focus is our ACT scores. So the district's been providing us with awesome materials to get our kids ready, and the kids have been excited. One thing I can say this year that the teachers and everybody's talking about is just the school spirit. That's one of the things we've just really been pushing, just for the kids to feel like they have a home, and we call it, Raider Nation. So, hey, they're out here showing their spirit tonight, and I'm so proud of them.
Yes, and I know that you have a lot of amazing signature academies at BC Rain, one of them specifically aviation. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the aviation program works with Coastal. The kids are able to do dual enrollment, and we have other dual enrollment courses at the school as well through South Alabama and Bishop State. But the aviation program, the kids can go through the process, and they will get credentialed to go ahead on and transfer over to Coastal, and they'll be able to work and get their license to be able to go anywhere and work on any plane. So there's a lot of good things going on with our academies at the school, and just really, like I said, we're trying to really build the community back up on Dolphin Island Parkway, and just being out here tonight, just greeting my parents as they were coming in. It's been so exciting seeing former classmates, because I am a Red Raider. I'm alumni, so it's a very special place for me in my heart.
You can definitely tell the sense of community here tonight between both of these schools, even competing against one another. So thank you so much for taking time to talk with us, and best of luck to BC Rain.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kimberly. We appreciate that. Flag thrown on the play right there. See what the call is going to be from Jonathan King.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense, second down.
So that'll give the Williamson Lions a free 5. Turn that 2nd and 9 into 2nd and 4 coming up here, Cora.
Anytime you have a penalty situation in the red zone area for either team, that's critical.
All at the 5-yard line. We'll call it 2nd and 3, rather. Hand off to Orrin Wilson. Let's see where they mark him at, just inside of the 5. So maybe a yard picked up for Wilson. It's going to be 3rd and short coming up for Williamson. They can get the first down without scoring.
And that's something you want to keep an eye on, because if they're able to pick up that first down, then it keeps BC Rain on the field even longer.
Right.
But here it is at 3rd and short. Nice open field tackle there by Justin Harper, coming up from his outside linebacker position.
So the ball sitting on the 4-yard line. 3rd and 2 coming up here for Williamson. Play clock at 2 seconds, and I think Antonio Coleman may have to burn his last time out here in the first half, because you don't want to pick up a delay of game and give those 5 yards back, and I believe that's the case right here, Cora.
Well, you can't take them to the railroad tracks with you back across to the street to the school, so go ahead and burn them all here, especially in the red zone area, to make that a great timeout call to regroup your team.
Let's take a look at the 6A Region 1 standings while we have a break right here. A lot of action going on in the area. Big game tomorrow night, Theodore and Spanish Fort. First time ever playing, Corey. So Theodore 3-0 in the region, along with Saraland 3-0 as well. Blunt's going to be taking on Robertsdale, I believe, tomorrow. And you have McGill, Tulane, and Baldwin County and Murphy both sitting there with 0-2 and 0-3 records. St. Paul still hanging in 2-1. Kind of have a log jam right there in the middle. 2 teams at 2-1 and 1 team with Blunt at 1-1.
6A Region 1, really the SEC West of the entire state of Alabama.
But I have to agree with you, Corey. When you really start looking at it, 5A Region 1 down here is really, really tightening up as well. 3rd and 2. Darion Pugh just to the right of Jeremy Williams. wide open heading to the end zone. That is a touchdown to Keith Donald. 4-yard touchdown pass to Donald, and Williamson scores again.
I love the way you bring your H back into the flat situation to where he was unaccounted for. And if you don't have the type of communication defensively, the Red Raiders did not see him slip out. And by the time that they recognized that he was wide open, and all Williams had to do was to put it on the numbers. And that's exactly what he did for a 4-yard touchdown for the Williamson Lions.
Let's see if they're going to go for 2 and try to get that point back they missed on the extra point, and that possibly may be the case as Darion Pugh is lining up to take the direct snap. So Williamson's going for 2 here. And he's going to try to run it up the gut, and he gets in. The 2-point conversion is good. Williamson gets the point back, up 14-0.
This is a program for any middle school student who's actually behind. This opportunity offers kids a chance to do 2 grades in 1 year.
If it wasn't for Star Academy, I would still be in 8th grade and probably still struggling.
We are one-on-one. We have small classrooms, and we're able to give students that personal touch, that personal attention.
I know I'm coming to see good teachers, good attitude, and also they're here to teach us what we need to learn.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Williamson all in control, Corey, 14-0 over BC Rain.
And we do have a Williamson Lion that is being tended to in the end zone, and that will be the delay on this kickoff is the injury, as now the Williamson Lion player is up and trying to jog back over to the sidelines.
Looks like LaDerrick Lane
from the center position.
He plays center for them, so hope that he is okay. Williamson dresses out around 55 players. Numbers are definitely up for the Lions this year. They have 14 seniors, returning only 3 on offense, but 6 on defense. But it is a young squad, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. We're going to see some 7th, maybe 8th graders play tonight. We know the 7th graders started at defensive end, and we've seen McGaskin, the 8th grader, playing at running back. They didn't get the ball to him, but Coach Coleman told us about him the other night as we were preparing for the ball game. Up the middle for the Red Raiders.
Hakeem Green.
Hakeem Green rings it back up. Coming up at halftime, the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. If everything goes well, Kimberly Dunn's microphone will work tonight. She'll get a spectator and get them hooked up with a question, and they answer correctly, Corey, they could win a Chick-fil-A prize bag like I did last week up in Citronelle.
And now you have winner chicken dinner.
Yes,
and
sir.
You see the nice crowd in the background here at Ladd Peoples Stadium is, again, the battle for the bridge here. Both teams call Ladd Peoples Stadium home, and there's a nice football attendance as the weather has cooperated and allowed the fans to enjoy the festivities here on this Thursday night edition.
1st and 10 for BC Rain at the 26, trying to get some things together. And it looks like they may try to go to Dowling, but Dowling is 8 up right at the line by the big fella, Christian Gill.
And that's what you call a plugger
Yes,
in
sir.
the hole. And if you don't turn it up and you don't put a hat on him, he's in the backfield as he overpowers the offensive lineman, Keyshawn Blackman, for the Red Raiders. And because of it, now you're looking at a loss on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 13 yards to go. Not exactly where you want to be if you're Famous Davis. On their initial drive, they had success getting the ball out to the perimeter.
Sure
but
did.
The adjustment has been made by the Williamson defense, and you want to set up the run to pass.
Correct.
And have not been able to do that yet.
Have not established the run tonight for BC Rain. They're back to passing. Yelding steps up into the pocket, completes that pass to Antonio Williams. He's close back to possibly the original line of scrimmage, maybe at the 21. There's that scoring drive, 53 yards, 9 plays, and capped it off with that 4-yard touchdown catch by Keith Donald. And look at how much time they ate, Corey, 5:54.
On the last first scoring drive, they had a 10-play drive that was for 6. This was a 9-play drive. So, again, the longer the Red Raiders are on the field, you rely on the offense to get a couple of first downs to give your defense a little bit of a rest.
Wearing them down. Trip receivers to the top. We'll call it 3rd and 10 coming up here for BC Rain. Yelding rolling out of the pocket. Pass incomplete. I think Antonio Williams felt the heat and dropped the hot potato, Corey.
Just did not look the pigskin in, and you have to look it in. Even though he would have caught it, he would not have had enough for the first down. No. But you definitely want to go ahead and look that football all the way in. And
play, got a personal foul, roughing the passer on White.
So that'll be 15 for BC Rain. Williamson bails them out. They had him stopped, but the late hit on Yeldon, they got to pay for it right here.
It's a costly penalty for the Williamson Lions, and I know the defensive side of the football for the Red Raiders are saying thank you for giving us another 3 downs for a chance to regroup and catch our breath.
Yeah.
And again, the Red Raiders, when you protect your quarterback, you give him an opportunity. He showed on that first drive that he can put it on the money to Williams or Trayvon Reed or Hakeem Green for that matter, but you just have to protect your quarterback first.
Trip receivers at the top. And that pass too high for Bryce Dowling, but the heat was on him. If he would have brought it in, Williamson was right up on him. 2nd down and 10 coming up for BC Rain.
Well, we'll see if this offensive line is able to get any type of push, because I have not seen them go ahead and dominate the line of scrimmage as of yet. And because of it, you know, you're putting yourself in a situation to where you're almost having to throw the ball on 2nd down and long or 3rd and long. And that's not the situation that the Red Raiders are comfortable in tonight.
2nd and 10. Dowling goes into motion. BC Rain decides to run it up the middle. Emarion Davis with the handoff. Picks up a couple, maybe 3, so it's going to be 3rd and long coming up for the Red Raiders. Decision time here for the offensive coordinator, Thamus Davis.
And if you're looking at a 3rd down and we'll call it 7 yards to go, you've had success rolling the pocket with Amari Yelding. We'll see if he's able to do that and find one of his wide receivers in open space.
Yelding has time. Completes the pass to Antonio Williams as he falls over the 45-yard line of Williamson. 1st down for the Red Raiders.
Great patience by Amari Yelding, and coming back to the football, Antonio Williams does a good job of holding and securing that football and looking it all the way in. And again, a much-needed 1st down with a little under 4 minutes remaining.
The key to that play, Corey, was the offensive line giving him time to set his feet to throw, because Yelding's been running around a lot tonight.
Well, it's a situation too, Al, to where not only does he have time, his receiver runs a great route, a route that he's run earlier in the game and had success.
Don't see any flags on the play. Possibly could be a timeout.
Try to the snap. False start on the offense. Replay 1st down.
So it was a flag. That'll cost the Red Raiders 5 yards. Places them right smack dab at the 50-yard line. 1st and 15 coming up here. 3:30 in the clock. Tick, tick, tick. I'm sure Coach Yelding would love to get some points out of this drive and go into the locker room with some points on the scoreboard, as they were held scoreless last week, 34-0 to Faith Academy. That's 5 quarters of scoreless ball for the Red Raiders. And Marion Davis turning the corner as he gets to the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 2nd and about 10 coming up.
Charles Harris coming up from his safety position, the 180-pound senior, making the stop on the play, but you're able to go ahead and gain 5 yards on that 1st and 15, and it's going to bring up 2nd down, and we'll call it right at still 10 yards to go because you're still lacking a full yard.
Yeah. So Davis gets the 5 yards back from the penalty lost on the false start. He let Wilson come through. Dowling can't handle it, drops it, had some room if he'd have caught it and turned the corner. But that is incomplete. 3rd and long coming up for the Red Raiders.
And when you start talking about maybe a break for the Red Raiders, because if you hit him cleanly in the flat, he's able to go ahead and get into space and bowl over forward. But because he drops it, you're not looking at a loss of yardage, and now it'll be officially 3rd down and 9 yards to go. And we've seen where they've wanted to go here earlier, and that was to Antonio Williams. So we'll keep an eye on him here as well for the Red Raiders.
Yet to complete one to Hakeem Green. He's only been out on special teams so far, touching the ball. I believe Coach Yielding has called timeout. He wants to discuss this one at 3rd and 9. Uses his 2nd timeout of the ball game. Sorry, his 1st timeout of the ball game. Let's take a look at the 7A Region 1 standings while we have a break right here. 7-team region. Baker right now at 2-0, Daphne at 2-0, and they are meeting tomorrow night. That should be an interesting contest as Baker travels over to Daphne to play. MGM and Davidson at the bottom, no wins in region play and no wins overall. Foley had that big win. Baker had that big win over Foley last week. That was homecoming, Corey, and kind of got themselves back into things after dropping the first 2, and now they've won 2 in a row. But them and Daphne are going to collide tomorrow night.
You see a smaller 7A Region 1 this year as we go from 9 teams to 7 teams. So again, the top 4 seeds will advance in the playoffs as per normal across the state of Alabama. But here it is, a critical 3rd down and 9 yards to go with 2:16 remaining in the 2nd quarter of play.
All right, rubber meeting the road right here for the Red Raiders. Need to pick up a 1st down and keep the 2-minute drill going to get some points. Yielding look to his left, going to toss it to Dowling. He's got room, but he has no blockers in front of him, so he is tackled short, maybe 2 or 3 yards of picking up the 1st down. The line to gain is the 35. BC Rain definitely going for it right here. Ball on the 38-yard line of Williamson.
The clock continues to run, and here it is, 4th down and 3 yards to go. And you really haven't had a lot of success rushing the football, but here on 4th down, we'll see if Yeldon is able to roll the pocket.
And it looks like we may have another timeout called by BC Rain. So that leaves them with 1 timeout remaining here in the 1st half. 94 seconds before we go to halftime. We'll have the bands, also the Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge as well. So make sure you stick around. Stick around for that. While we got a break, talk about these 2 coaches. Antonio Coleman in his 1st year at Williamson asked if he could share a meal with anyone. Who would it be? He says, the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm a simple guy that loves breakfast, so they're going to the Wahoo or the Cracker Barrel. And Lawrence Yielding in his 4th year at Rain, he also says he would like to share a meal with Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And look at that, Corey. Fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, cornbread, sweet potato, sweet tea. I don't know how much talking will be going on. It'll definitely be a nap after. That's called a coma. That's called a coma meal right there, brother. We going to sleep after that.
And no question about that. That's a good Sunday dinner.
Yes, sir.
You can get the Sunday dinner at Cracker Barrel as well, but 2 great choices in regards to who they would like to have and eat with a meal, and sharing with us a little different side of a coach's perspective that you get to see here.
Correct. Absolutely. All right, 4th and 3 coming up here for BC Rain. Dowtland just to the left of Yelding. They're going to go with him. They're going to go with the money play, and the money player, the human bowling ball, shows up right on time, gets the first down, crosses the 25-yard line of Williamson.
And really the first time you've seen from the line of scrimmage him explode and show how low he runs and his cutback ability as he's able to garner that first down, a fresh set of downs with 1:20, the clock still running here. Your 2-minute drill, as you mentioned, is in effect.
They put him at the 24-yard line. Great, nice block right there by Isaiah Hawthorne to free up Dowland. They pitch it out to him. You get him in space, he can do his thing. BC Rain has 1 timeout remaining. They're going to mark him down at about the 25 for no gain. Maybe he lost a yard. And the clock is ticking, Corey LeBound, and we're into 60 seconds.
Well, you have to look here at 2nd down and 10. If you're not going to clock it, you definitely don't want to run the football because you're going to have to burn that timeout. So look to throw the ball to the outside and get out of bounds.
Yelding's got to get rid of it and does. Cannot get out of bounds. KJ Simpson. It'll be 3rd down and short. Do the Red Raiders call the timeout here or they continue? I believe the clock has stopped. I didn't think he was that close to picking it up, Corey.
Timeout.
So
range.
the timeout was called, but I was wondering. I mean, the game clock here at Ladd had just completely stopped, but I didn't see a signal by Jonathan King. So they burned their last timeout. 35 seconds here. They're going to place the ball at the 15. Take a look at the replay.
And Yelding had the heads up to know he knew who he wanted to go to with that quick blitz coming and was able to find the wide open wide receiver in the flat. And Jermaine McCree with the stop right at a yard short. 35 seconds now. BC Rain having no timeouts remaining here with 3rd and 1. So really, as you're the offensive coordinator, Famous Davis, you have to quickly tell your quarterback here, once we get this first down, we have to know what we're going to go with real quickly, especially the wide receivers. If they catch it, they have to know if they're not past the stick getting the first down to automatically stop the clock, that they're going to have to quickly get on top of the ball.
And the key component right there, Corey, was KJ Simpson catching it and holding on because the Red Raiders, they've had a little episode of the dropsies tonight, so it was key to hold on to the ball, secure it. Looks like they're about a yard short. 3rd and 1 coming up here for BC Rain. Big play, no timeouts, 35 seconds. Definitely 4-down territory. Picking up the first down will stop the clock momentarily to move the sticks. And I believe they were trying to draw off Williamson. And the flags come in. Let's see what Jonathan King says.
I love the hard count in that situation, especially coming out of the timeout.
Right.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
And the Red Raider faithful are not liking that at all, Corey LeBounty.
Well, you're looking at Coach Yelding disagree with that call, but here it is. You're now, instead of 3rd and 1, you're at 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6 to go. Possibly some movement from one of the tackles for the Red Raiders. Yelding rolling to his left, just throws that one away. I don't see any flags for grounding. They're going to say incomplete. And we know the rules have changed this year for grounding for high school. The ball has to make it at least to the line of scrimmage if you're inside the tackle box.
And I think he was outside of the tackle box as he went ahead and rolled to his right.
Yeah, we don't have all that telestrator stuff like the big folks, but according to Jonathan King, no flag on the play, no grounding. It's 4th down coming up.
He clearly was outside of the tackle box, and because of it, it's a situation to where it brings up 4th and 6 with 28 seconds remaining here, and the officials are talking about whether they want to call it
now, I could have said it wrong. I think if he's outside, it still has to make it to the line of scrimmage, Corey.
And that's what
that ball did not go to the line of scrimmage at all.
The difference is, too, was there a receiver in the area?
Correct.
Because that ball definitely went laterally, but now Jonathan King has confirmed with his other officials here, and we'll see if we're going to spot it ready for play.
And Jonathan King hasn't communicated anything. The clock is stopped, so I guess he's just calling it incomplete. So it'll be 4th down, Corey.
But I'm looking at the box marker. It is 4th down and 11 yards to go, according to the box across the field from us.
Sure is. Yelding escapes. Dumps it over to Bryce Dowling, but as soon as he catches it, he is down because his knees are down. So that's ball over on downs to Williamson.
And that's a tough break because the Red Raiders had an outstanding drive going, and I'm not quite sure what that call was.
So some kind of way they penalized them 5 yards. We never got the call. It was 4th and 6 coming up, and then it turned into 4th and 11, Corey.
So it was a 5-yard penalty of some sort, and there was really no signal giving or indication as to what it may be, but it is a turnover on downs, and the Williamson Lions will be content to run this out, leading 14-0.
All they have to do is basically just take a knee here and take it into the locker room, and we'll try to check in with Kimberly Dunn, and she'll have either the coaches ready to speak for us. Interesting first half that we have seen so far tonight. BC Rain kind of got things going, Corey, and then kind of hit a wall, hit a stalemate, and Williamson turned on the we're going to take our time and put some big drives together and eat up a lot of the clock.
Well, the biggest thing is those drives have led to the Red Raiders being on the field for a very long time, and because of it, you look at the 2-point conversion that was converted.
That was
14-0 is our score, but you start talking about the drives that have come away with no points for the Red Raiders.
Right.
I think that's something that Coach Yeldon will talk about with his team at halftime. We just got to find a way to get into the end zone, and once we're able to get into the end zone, they've had some great drives themselves, but have not been able to put points on the board.
Yeah, they put the heat on Yelding a lot tonight. He's had to run and escape the pocket, but when given time, he's been able to dink and dunk and kind of stretch some out. But we've seen opportunities where that offensive line has just been collapsed upon by Williamson, and he's got to get rid of it like right now.
And you start talking about 14-0. The game feels a little bit closer than that. The good thing for BC Rain is they are receiving the football to start the second half.
They did defer,
They'll have an opportunity to go into halftime, regroup, and find a way to go ahead and instead of dinking and dunking, find a way to get 6 points on the board.
Yeah, they needed it right there because they pretty much could have gotten a 2-for-1 with them getting the ball back coming out of halftime. So we're waiting to see if Kimberly Dunn will have one of the coaches for us on the sidelines. But, Corey, quite an interesting first half of action that we have seen tonight.
And BC Rain was able to get the running game started late in the second quarter, and we'll see what Kimberly Dunn has to say with the head coach at Williamson High School.
Let's check in with her right now.
Coach Coleman, how do you feel about your team's performance in this first half? Y'all are ahead right now. Do you feel like your guys are going to be able to keep that momentum?
They better. You know, we had a long week of practice. It's been a short week, but a long week for these guys. Decent first half. You know, got a lot of corrections to make. Giving up too many yards and missing too many throws.
So what are you going to say to your team to continue to motivate them to finish this game strong?
We just got to finish.
Yeah.
You know, that's been the key word all year. We held ourselves to a high standard. You know, so they got to finish. We'll go in, we'll make the corrections. We got to come out, and we got to play another physical half because BC Rain has a great team.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. I'll let you get with your team.
Thank you, Kimberly. We do appreciate that. Let's take it down to the field and check in with the Williamson Lions Marching Lion Band. That was the sound of the Williamson High School marching band. Right now, we're going to take it down to the sidelines and check in with Kimberly Dunn. It's time for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge.
Do you want to go to BC Rain one day? Is that what you're hoping to go? Yeah. Do you have family that plays there? Over there. Oh, you have family.
Having some technical difficulties with Kimberly Dunn. We're going to take a quick 30-second break and be right back. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
We are back, and we're taking you down to the field for the BC Rain Red Raiders marching band. Great performance by the Red Raider marching band there. Let's try it again. We'll take it down to the sidelines and check in with Kimberly Dunn for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge.
We're here with our Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, and I found a very special person from the audience today. Are you ready for our question of the evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me your name and where you go to school?
D.R. Smith, E.R. Dixon.
Okay, and you told me that you're actually sitting over here on the BC Rain side, but you have cousins on the Williamson side, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're kind of cheering for whoever wins?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you ready for our question? Yes, ma'am. Okay, here it is. Scientist and inventor Lonnie Johnson, a 1969 graduate of Williamson High School, developed many patents while working as a NASA engineer and U.S. Air Force engineer, but he is famously known for his invention of this toy, okay? Is it A, a super soaker, B, a soccer ball, C, jump rope, or D, the box kite? What do you think it is?
A.
You think it's A, the super soaker? Why did you choose that one?
Cause I really don't know.
That's just a good guess? All right, well, you are correct. It is A, the super soaker. Look at you. Come here. You win our Chick-fil-A prize pack. There's some Mobile County goodies in here as well, so hopefully you share that with someone. And thank you for answering our question, okay, bud? All right, wave everybody, say bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Kimberly. That was absolutely beautiful. Loved it. We're going to take a quick break and come back with the state polls plus halftime stats. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
High school students, are you looking for a way to become a better leader? Then the Junior Officers Training Corps may be what you're seeking. If you would like to develop self-reliance, learn ways to be more responsible, and improve your communication skills, you can do that and more when you register for the Junior Officers Training Corps. The JROTC program is available to all high school students in Mobile County. JROTC, we build a better you.
If you're looking for fun, fashionable, and affordable jewelry, it's here. It's Paparazzi. We have a variety of colors and styles of bracelets, rings, necklaces, and earrings for all occasions and for every event. New styles are added daily, which means you are always up to date with the latest fashion. For that genuine bling, join me, Charmaine Watson, the real jewelry lady, on Facebook Live Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. It's cute, it's fun, it's fashion, it's $5, it's Paparazzi.
If you look at the numbers, Mobile County Public Schools is making great strides.
With more than 53,000 students, 7,000 employees, and 90 schools, we are consistently increasing our four-year graduation rate and our first-class pre-K program. We continue to strive for national recognition and continue to prepare our students for the global workforce. And we do all of this with one goal in mind, to equip and empower college and career-ready graduates. Mobile County Public Schools. We're learning today, leading tomorrow.
We welcome you back to halftime for the MCPSS high school football game of the week. Williamson's on top 14-0. Great performance at halftime, but I got to tip my hat to the young fella with the Chick-fil-A question. Corey, that was hilarious.
E.R. Dixon gets the correct answer. He'll be having bragging rights tomorrow at
yes,
school.
He will. My boy said, I have no idea. Why don't you? But he was correct. Right now, let's take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls. We'll start off with the 5A poll. UMS Wright is once again the unanimous #1 pick atop the poll, with Gulf Shores lost last week to UMS Wright. That's going to drop them to 7. Viger is still at 8, and they face the Bulldogs tomorrow night, Corey. So that's another top 10 matchup for UMS Wright. On the outside looking in, Faith Academy picks up 1 vote. That should be a good ball game tomorrow night.
I agree with you. And again, every single matchup becomes a playoff potential matchup in regards to you can't take any games for granted week to week.
Take it up to the 6A poll. The top 5 teams here are still the same from last week. Spanish Forts lost to Saraland last week, drops the Toros out of the top 10. I think we're having some issues getting that poll up. This is 6A poll. Oh, I had a little issue there, so we'll try to get it up. But Spanish Forts lost to Saraland last week, drops the Toros out of the top 10. Tomorrow, they're going to host number 5 Theodore, which, once again, Corey, another big ball game. First time Theodore and Spanish Fort will have ever played football.
Well, when you start talking about big boy football, again, Theodore dropping down to the 6A classification this year. Spanish Fort with a tough loss to Saraland. You're jockeying for position as far as the polls are concerned, as well as 6A, 5A, everything's very tight.
All right, let's take it up to the 7A, the last poll. There's a new #1 in the state of Alabama, with Auburn grabbing the top spot after Central Phoenix City's lost in overtime to Opelika last week. The Red Devils dropped to 4, allowing the Fairhope Pirates inching ever closer to the #1 spot to #2. And, Corey, they picked up another first place. I think Ben Thomas has to be voting for them for first place in 7A.
Well, again, first place in 7A, you've seen Thompson be at the top with their first couple of losses. Then they switch, and now you have your third team to get atop of the 7A polls, and that's going to probably continue to change as the season goes along as well.
All right, let's take a look at halftime statistics. What has happened so far in this ball game? We know Williamson is on top 14-0. Let's see how they have done it. 95 yards through the air and 45 on the ground so far.
The biggest thing for BC Rain to establish here in the second half is the rushing yardage. The passing yardage by Yeldon, he's done a good job of not turning the football over and doing a great job of making sure that he allows his punter to punt the football. And you start talking about no turnovers by both teams, only turnover on downs.
Right.
That's something to keep an eye on in the second half also. But overall, only 7 total penalties. 14-0. I mentioned going into halftime, Al, that this game feels a lot more closer than the score indicates at 14-0. But how do you get back into this football game if you're the Red Raiders? One possession at a time, keeping your defense fresh. And when we talked about one of the things on my checklist at the beginning of the game for BC Rain, they have to sustain second half drives.
Right.
We're going to see how deep their depth is. And again, if they do have to punt it, they want to definitely flip the field. And Williamson, on the other hand, they've definitely caused a rain-run drought, and they have prevented penalties also. And I know Coach Coleman has to be pleased playing the Williamson way.
Let's try to get an idea of what Coach Yelding told his kids in the locker room. Take it down to Kimberly Dunn.
Coach Yelding, how do you feel about your team's performance the first half?
Right now, we're a step slow right now. We're kind of getting beat up a little bit in the trenches. playing just a little bit harder than we are right now. So, we went in and challenged our guys to come out and be more physical. And we're getting the ball here and coming in the second half. We drive the ball down, make a score right here, 14-7, we're in a new ball game. So it's critical for us to come out right now, kind of establish ourselves, what we're trying to do in the run game, passing game, what they're going to give us, and we'll be fine. We'll be all right.
So what adjustments does your team need to make in order for this ball game to have a different outcome?
Man, again, we just got to execute. There are some things we got to get lined up. We're struggling, getting the plays in a little bit. So, once we corrected that stuff at the halftime, showed them exactly what we were talking about. You just got to go out and do the things that we've been coached to do all week, not try to do our own thing, and we'll be okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate it. We're going to take a break and come back and bring you the second half of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Our children with special needs deserve a place to play. That is why we are coming together to build the Miracle League of West Mobile Schmidt Family Park. It will include a special needs ball field and playground, regulation baseball and softball fields, and more. We have raised more than $1 million and construction will start soon, but we need your help to complete the project. Visit MCPSS.com/Miracle League to donate and to learn more. Any dollar amount will help bring a smile to a child's face. Together, we can make a miracle.
If you're looking for fun, fashionable, and affordable jewelry, it's here. It's Paparazzi. We have a variety of colors and styles of bracelets, rings, necklaces, and earrings for all occasions and for every event. New styles are added daily, which means you are always up to date with the latest fashion. For that genuine bling, join me, Charmaine Watson, the real jewelry lady, on Facebook Live Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. It's cute, it's fun, it's fashion, it's $5, it's Paparazzi.
I have known since I was in 4th grade that I was going to be a teacher. I really just truly enjoy coming to work every day and working with different sets of kids and just watching them grow and learn.
I couldn't see myself doing anything other than teaching children, being a part of children's lives, being able to inspire them in a way that some people just aren't able to do. And to know that every day is a new day, a new opportunity to make a difference in the child's life means everything to me.
The MCPSS Signature Academies are preparing students to be both college and career ready. This program allows students the opportunity to participate in real-world hands-on assignments connected to a specific career theme. To find out more, visit academiesofmobile.com. That's academiesofmobile.com. Second half action momentarily away from it taking place, Corey, and Coach Yelding, Coach Yelding said it. They've got to establish Bryce Dowling. They got to get the run game going tonight.
If you're able to get some runs with him popping off maybe 15 or 20-yard runs, then you're able to establish the line of scrimmage. And high atop here at Live People Stadium, you see the downtown skylight lit up red. We'll see if that's a good omen for the Red Raiders here in the second half.
We shall find out. Back to receive Hakeem Green and Emarion Davis. And in the middle, right near the 25, Antonio Williams. Ball goes between the legs of Davis. He should probably let that roll out of bounds. Very smart for the young man. Don't touch it right there, Corey.
He almost wanted to pick the football up. The instinct is to do that, but a great job of being heads up and letting it roll out of bounds.
Got to thank Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So visit our friends Jim and Susie Sherman at the Grelot Road location of Firehouse Subs. Also thanks to BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from basketball to wrestling and all sports in between. It's BSN Sports, the heart of the game. Visit them online at bsnsports.com. And it looks like Coach Yeldon is going to have them to kick it again.
And that's a smart acceptance of that penalty, to where you give your return men an opportunity to pop off that big one on special teams, because that's something that will give your crowd and this electric atmosphere of high school football an interesting jolt. We mentioned here that you have cousins and brothers and nieces and nephews all intertwined between the Battle of the Bridge here with these two schools. But with that being said, Al, again, BC Rain wants to come out here and strike first and establish themselves as being dominant to start the second half of action.
Kick from Jeremy Williams, fielded by Hakeem Green as he has tackled near the 25-yard line. And the Red Raiders come out in the second half. And I believe we have a flag on the play before we can get going here in the second half. Jonathan King getting the explanation from one of the fellow officials. Looks like he motioned for a chop block, Corey.
Second penalty flag before we're able to really get started.
On red.
So that's going to push the Red Raiders back a bit from that 25. They're going to start that drive a little closer to their own end zone behind them.
On the receiving team.
Pushes them back to the 16 where they will start this first possession of the second half. And it looks as if some changes have been made, Corey. Different formation here coming up for the Red Raiders. They brought some beef up front. Errant snap, and Yielding has to eat it right at the 10-yard line.
And I think it hit one of the H-backs in that situation. Zion Hale was in the backfield, and the snap, I do believe, hit him instead of Amari Yielding, the quarterback, and it's going to result in a close to 6-yard loss on the play. Going to bring up 2nd and 16 for the Red Raiders.
Yielding taking his time. And they give it to Dowling as the extra backers come in there, try to give some room. And it looks possibly a 1-yard pickup for Bryce Dowling and the Red Raiders.
Good job of Williamson's defense plugging the hole there as you start looking at Tyreek Gaines along with Taj Overton stepping up from his safety position, making that stop for the Williamson Lions.
Third down and about 14 coming up here for the Red Raiders. Not the way Coach Lawrence Yielding wanted his team to start off here in the second half. Trip receivers to the top. Trayvon Reed at the bottom by himself on the near side here. And we have a whistle, a stoppage in play. Looks like we may have a delay of game.
Snap. Delay of game on the offense.
And that's a costly mistake, pushes them back 5 yards. Going to place it at the 6. So 3rd and long coming up here for BC Rain. Not the way they wanted to start the second half. Dowling next to Yielding in the backfield. They toss it out to Bryce Dowling. He's got some room as he is pushed out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Big game picked up right there by the Red Raiders, but not enough. They're going to be short, and it's 4th down.
Well, that's what you want to see in your early down situation, and instead of your 3rd down and long to go, now it's going to bring up 4th down and close to 4 yards, and you're going to have the Red Raiders punting this football away.
Let's see if Williamson's going to bring the house. They do decide to bring Jeremiah Owens. And a timeout is called by Williamson. So we have a timeout here at 8:48. Let's put up our player comparisons of this ball game if we have a chance. taking a look at both of these quarterbacks tonight to compare how they have been doing so far. Jeremy Williams, 11 of 15 for 95 yards so far. 1 touchdown on the ground. He ran one and then threw one in, so actually he's accounted for 1 passing touchdown, but does have a running touchdown. No interceptions scored by either players tonight. 71 yards for Amari Yelding. It doesn't seem like he's thrown it 15 times, but if you think back to the beginning of the ball game, if you've been with us here the whole time, they threw it a lot in the first quarter.
Very, very effective throwing the football on that first drive. And again, you start looking at a 9 or 10 play drive that led to no points, but very effective finding his wide receivers, Antonio Williams and Trayvon Reed, along with his backer, Marion Davis, out of the backfield. But having to put toe to leather right here, you have to have a good snap, and Williamson's definitely going to have the return game on.
Jeremiah Owens lines up at about near the 50. Let's see if they're going to bring the house here. Second time, Tristan Page is back to punt for BC. High snap over his head into the end zone. He gets it, throws it, completes it to one of the upbackers for the Red Raiders, but that is not enough. He'll be short. Dylan Robinson with the reception. That could have possibly been a safety.
And I thought he was going to go ahead and push it out of the end zone. But, again, if your defense is able to hold, you're glad that he did not kick it out of the end zone or step out of the end zone and went ahead and threw the football in a positive manner, just nowhere near the amount to get the first down. And Williamson's going to take over in great red zone territory.
Now Corey, I'm sure a few folks at the house will say, kick it rugby style. Kick it. The young man, he's filling in the punt. I don't think he knew to do it rugby style at that point. 1st and 10 for Williamson at the 15, possibly the 16. Williams has all kind of time. Incomplete, throws it behind his receiver as he tried to get it out to Robert Lucas. Second down coming up for the Lions.
Well, if you're able to get out of here without giving up a score, if you're the Red Raiders, you definitely avoided disaster, as you see on the sideline. Sherman Williams from Blount High School and the University of Alabama fame, as well as Jamarcus Russell, the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft. And those two are part of this offensive staff for the Williamson Lions.
Yeah, Williams coaching the running backs. As you see Jamarcus Russell on the sideline, he's the passing game coordinator for Williamson. And they've been doing some passing tonight, as we just saw our quarterback comparison. Second down. Williams going to the left this time, trying to hit the fade route in the corner. A lot of touching, but no flags. They were trying to reach Elijah Lucky. Third down for Williams.
And you start talking about defensive coverage by the cornerback Trayvon Reed, 5'7", 150-pound senior. You want to put that football in a position to where only your wide receiver can high point the football and catch it. Now you're at a 3rd down and 10 for the Red Raiders, and I think this is 4 down territory for the Williamson Lions.
So far, the defense is holding for BC Rain. Same formation for Williamson once again. Williams rolls to his right, throws left. Incomplete once again. Tried to reach Jeremiah Owens. 4th and 10 coming up here for the Williamson Lions.
4th down and 10 yards to go, Al, from the 15-yard line of the Red Raiders. If you're defensive coordinator Sean Burney, you're just encouraging your defense here to hold on and give Amari Yelding and the offense an opportunity to redeem themselves.
Right.
Huge 4th down play here for the Williamson Lions.
Trip receivers to the top. Darion Pugh. Pugh rolls out into the flat. Williams decides to keep it. Tucks down, and he's going to be short. They're going to mark him at about the 10-yard line. So the Red Raiders defense holds. Looks like Williamson was just trying to throw it in and could not.
A great red zone stop for the Red Raiders when you start talking about having the ball sail over your punter's head, but you're right back where you started 4 downs ago. And now what you're looking at is trying to go ahead early on first down, have positive yardage here if your offensive coordinator, Famous Davis, dialing up something and possibly getting Dowling in the flat coming out of the backfield, or just making sure that you move the sticks and keep your defense off the field.
Pretty much similar where they first started in the third quarter. They had it at the 16. They start this drive at the 10, their second time touching it. They've kind of let the big beef out of the backfield go back to the sideline. Yelding has time. Connects with Ashton Williams. He's found him a lot tonight. Picks up about 4 or 5 on that reception. Second down coming up for BC Rain.
Big time catch by Antonio Williams, and we talked about him early in the contest being Yeldon's go-to wide receiver from his position that he's playing tonight. And you just have to make sure that you look the ball in and give your quarterback an opportunity to continue to complete passes and get ahead of down and distance.
Williams has snagged a few tonight, Corey. Got a bunch set here to the near side. We'll call it 2nd and 6 for BC Rain. Low snap. Set up a little screen. Cannot get it to Bryce Dowling. He had a couple blockers in front of him. Possibly could have picked up that first down.
Look at the pressure coming from the safety, Charles Harris. Number 10 in white does a great job of pressuring the quarterback, Amari Yelding, making him get rid of the football. Falling backwards, was not able to step into that throw, and because of it, Dowling was not able to come away with that reception. And now you're looking at 3rd down and close to 6 yards to go.
KJ Simpson at the bottom of the screen on the near side. Yelding rolls out once again. Antonio Williams. I don't know if the turf monster got him, Corey, but this is going to be close to the first down marker. I think this will come down to what I call the right foot or the left foot where they spotted it.
See if they have to measure in this situation. If I'm Coach Yelding, I'm asking for a measurement. But they're gonna say 4th down. They held that fist up, and they are going to be a little bit short, but looks like they're going to go ahead and send the punting unit on the field quickly for the Red Raiders.
Tristan Page and the crew coming back out. Jeremiah Owens heading back to the spot where he was a few plays ago near the 50-yard line. This snap not very high, but decent kick by Page. Owens feels it at the 48. Turns the corner outside the numbers on the Williamson sideline, breaks it back in, and Corey, he almost and takes it to the house. 48 yards punt return. Jeremiah Owens looking on the field for any flags, and I see one on the far side near the 40-yard line. Great eyes by my buddy Matt Moore, statistician, as he was pointing it out. He's not wearing glasses like me, Corey. He saw the dirty yellow rag on the field.
Well, that's going to take away an electric return. You're talking about a house call.
Wow.
And to where you're definitely had the blocking that you needed, but on that far sidelines, the officials were able to pick up something right in front of the Williamson sidelines. And you can tell that the Red Raiders were grasping for air, grabbing for air, not able to touch or bring them down.
Foul. Blindside block on the receiving team.
That was a call we had a few times last week with Citronelle and Bryant.
Well, you start looking at the crackback block, it's going to be happening right in front of Williamson sidelines.
Right.
And I want to say maybe 11 right here. You're looking at 3 coming into the play, 10.
Right there.
It has to be.
It might have been Wilson back there at 10.
Right. And you start looking at the Red Raiders just touching and grabbing air, and a good job of Jeremiah Owens running through contact and punching it in, but 6:07 remaining here in the third quarter.
An exciting play, but the points will come off the board as the young man kind of did his thing, Corey. But unfortunately, it will not count. So it'll be 1st and 10. They're going to place it at the 44-yard line of Williamson.
BC Rain just came away with a huge stop in the red zone. We'll see if the defense can bow up and come away with another stop.
Ellis McGaskin, the 8th grader, checks in for Williamson as he goes out to the left, plays decoy. Up the middle goes Jeremy Williams. They're trying to hold on to his jersey and bring him down as he crosses the 40-yard line into BC Red Raiders territory.
Great quarterback draw, and that's an outstanding call by Jamal Henry, and a great read. That's a design quarterback draw, and you look at Ricky Nichols trying to punch the football away, not able to do so, and relying on Trayvon Reed to upend Williams at the end of the run. 1st and 10 Williamson.
Ball's on the 37-yard line of BC Rain. Williams taking his time, looking to the sideline to get the call. Three receivers to the top. Sorry, to the near side. McGaskin with the carry. And he picks up maybe 1 yard. Coach Antonio Coleman told us, he said, I have these young middle schoolers and they're in my system, so I'm going to use them. They have the talent and the ability. He's got a young team, so they're getting early experience, Corey.
Well, you're talking about a young 8th grade running back who's going to be around for a long time for the Williamson Lions. And that 5'10", 160-pound frame, as he hits the weight room over the next 3 or 4 years, you'll probably look at a 180-pound running back here in the next couple of years.
2nd and 9. They flare it out to McGaskin, put him in the open field. He does some work. Nice reception right there. Picks up 3 or 4. 3rd and short coming up for the Lions.
Butch Hodges Jr. with the stop for the Red Raiders. And if you're BC Rain here at 3rd down and 6 yards to go, this is a huge 3rd down situation because you want to get your defense off of the field. And I still think this is 4-down territory.
I agree.
For Antonio Coleman, the head coach of the Williamson Lions, to where you got into the red zone area, were turned away. Now you're not in the red zone area yet, but go ahead and make this 2-down territory.
6 quarters of shutout football for the Red Raiders. They haven't put up points. And Williamson trying to hold it. Flared out once again. That's a lateral. No, they're going to say it's incomplete. Incomplete. Officials come in and say it was forward.
That'll be a big-time stop on 3rd down for Sean Birney's defense here. And again, the Red Raiders giving up 21 points per game and being shut out a week ago, with the score only being 7-0 at halftime against the Faith Academy Rams. And just depth became an issue. And I mentioned 4-down territory for Williamson, and looks like they're going to go ahead and go for it here on 4th down and 5 yards to go.
Lions doing a huddle up on the field, something you rarely see nowadays with these spread offenses, and getting signals from the sidelines. Play clock under 10. Looks like maybe a little pooch kick, and that's what it is. Try to catch BC Rain off guard. And Williamson is going to down it at the 6. So a little pooch kick from Jeremy Williams caught BC Rain off guard, Corey.
And that's what you want from a quick kick situation when you don't have a great leg as a punter. Sometimes when you shorten the field, you're able, that's why they did huddle, to make sure everybody knew the snap count on the quick kick, and he was able to pin the Red Raiders deep. But that is a win for the Red Raiders defensively. Now they just have to find a way to go ahead and get some type of explosive play and get the running game back going. I think that's what's huge for the Red Raiders right here, to continue to have consistency on their drives.
We saw Williams practicing punting before the ball game as well. He is the punter for Williamson, so no surprise that he actually punted the ball. But a great play call right there But a big stop by BC Rain, as you pointed out, Corey. And the officials have blown the whistle, a flag on the play. And looks like they're going to push BC Rain back.
75, I do believe, got caught with a little flinch.
False start.
Isaiah Hawthorne, I think.
So that's going to be half the distance to the goal. Places the ball at the 3-yard line. A spot the Red Raiders don't want to be in right here. Back up against their own end zone. Everything needs to be precise. They throw it out to Trayvon Reed. And Corey, he just escapes the end zone. Interesting play call right there.
By the snout of the pigskin.
Reed is limping.
He's able to get out, but that's a big-time loss for Trayvon Reed as he plays corner as well defensively.
Coming up, game of the week brainbuster question. We'll be putting it out there for Corey Bounty, so stick around and see what we have in store tonight. The ball is at the 1-yard line. Pass was completed, but it was for a loss. Red Raiders need to get out the hole right here. Going up the middle, Amari Yelding throws it. Intercepted, our first turnover of the ball game. Pass intercepted by Jermaine McCree. That's his third interception on the season.
McCree, the 5'9", 150-pound freshman, was able to make Roger McCreary very happy on that play, as from his corner position, he read the quarterback's eyes, and he went ahead and had a great jump on the football, as that's a great look as he shows his explosiveness, seeing that that football did not have any velocity on it, and it's one that Yeldon probably would love to have back in regards to just taking the hit and allowing the punt to be given away, but Williamson in the red zone.
First and 10, ball on the 11-yard line. Handoff, nope. They fake the handoff to Pugh. Toss it over to Jeremiah Owens. He stretches it out, and that is a touchdown. That's how you do it, Corey. Put that ball across the end line.
And another great design play quickly, as the Red Raiders really didn't have a chance to regroup defensively. They've been on the field for so long, and that's what happens when you stall. You have a quick play, which you have a back coming out of the backfield. You make the correct call to Jeremiah Owens, and he's able to put 6 more points on the scoreboard for the Williamson Lions.
Williams accounts for his third touchdown of the night, 2 through the air and 1 on the ground. And he will stay out for the extra point as well. High snap, kick is up, it is blocked. It is blocked. They cannot advance it. So it's 20-0, Williamson on top. While we have a break right here, let's put up our game of the week brainbuster question. All right, Gorilla Bounty, here we go. Williamson is BC Rain's longest rival. They've played them 45 times. Who is their next longest rival? And we're doing pretty good. We're going to stick with multiple choice this season so far, Corey. So A is Fairhope, B Shaw, C Davidson, D Satsuma. So think about that one, and later on in the ball game, we'll reveal the answer of our game of the week brainbuster. 2:40 remaining here in the third quarter. Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty on the sidelines, Kimberly Dunn, and Williamson all in control.
As we look at Jonathan King on that extra point, he was run over.
He was, lost his hat and all.
By a couple of defenders who rushed in to block that extra point, and I'm glad to see Jonathan King get up and start laughing about it, because sometimes you see officials take those nasty spills, and Jonathan King doesn't have the pads on tonight.
He does not, Corey.
So again, for him to be able to bounce back up and get us back ready for play, that just speaks how tough Jonathan King is as our white hat tonight.
We appreciate you joining us tonight. Special Thursday night edition of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. We talked about some nice big contests going to be taking place tomorrow all through the area. Corey, I think we're going to get a chance to watch some football as Hakeem Green is thrown down at the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at that replay. Jonathan King, as he is barreled over, if we can get it up, on that extra point. We're not able to get that replay up. Thought we had it in the truck there. But yeah, Corey, he took quite a spill, but he survived and got on up and danced and laughed it off.
Jonathan King was immediately attended to by one of his fellow referees to make sure he was okay. But 20-0, our new score, as the Red Raiders really here offensively need to sustain a drive. And as again, one of the things on my checklist, the number one thing for BC Rain is they had to sustain drives. And they were able to do so on the opening series of this contest. But so far here in the second half, have not been able to do so. We'll take a look at my checklist here as play is in a little bit of a stall for Williamson. They need to cause a rain run drought. They've been able to do a good job of dialing up, prevent penalties.
Right.
They've been able to do that as well and win the Williamson way, getting better every possession, which equates to a win on the scoreboard. For BC Rain, they had to sustain drives as well as have depth that was deep tonight. And reigning special teams, we saw special teams kind of play a factor in that high snap. But Red Raiders now have an opportunity to regroup offensively and put together a drive to get their first points of the game.
It's their third time possessing the ball in the third quarter. Amari Yelding picks up about 5 or 6 on the carry. Basically, he kind of weaved and scrambled and weaved and scrambled. They brought him down at about the 26-yard line.
One of the great things, though, that Yeldon was able to do was pick up positive yards. If nothing is there for yourself, go ahead and take care of it. As that Williamson scoring drive was just one play and an 11-yard touchdown reception by Jeremiah Owens.
Second down for the Red Raiders. They give it to Bryce Dowland, and he is just ate up by the defensive lineman of Williamson, Christian Gill, also helping out on the play. Can't get a number on that second guy helping a note. Tremarcus Petway, 32. So the tackle and defensive end wrapping up Dowland. Third and long coming up here, Corey. As we approach 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter. The Lions trying to put up a stand and get the ball back. Yelding across the middle, almost intercepted by Willie Maddox. Had his big paw on it, but couldn't bring it in.
Willie Maddox, the 5'8", 150-pound sophomore for the Lions, from his cornerback position, just not able to squeeze the grease out of that pigskin. And
as he ran into Taj Overton. And maybe that could have been the case. It could have been in his peripheral, and it kind of threw him off a bit there.
Special teams here, Al. Good snap that has to come from your long snapper, and you definitely want to try to flip the field here.
KJ Simpson with the snap. Tristan Page gets it off. Owens bobbles it, but bobbles it in a safe place. It goes out of bounds. They're going to spot it at the 48-yard line. So BC Rain with a quick 3 and out, and just like that, Corey, Williamson is back on the field. I know this BC Rain Red Raiders defense has to be tired at this point.
Well, what will be interesting to see where they are having the football at the 48-yard line of the Red Raiders. Will they go ahead and go for the kill shot right here on first down, or will they go ahead and be content to let this 57 seconds run out to the third quarter?
Darion Pugh in the backfield. They give it to him. He crosses the 35. Nice run by Darion Pugh. Is going to set up about a 2nd and 5, maybe 2nd and 4 for the Williamson Lions.
Tyler Simmons on the stop for the Red Raiders, but you look on first down, it's 6 positive yards for Williamson.
Nice run by Darion Pugh there. And something they haven't had to do too much tonight, Corey, is they've been dinking and dunking and throwing it here and there and getting yards primarily through the air tonight, the Lions offense. They slide it over to Jeremiah Owens on the screen. He gets the first down and goes out of bounds at about the 34-yard line.
That will bring up 9 seconds remaining here in the third quarter of action. But catch and being able to get out of bounds will allow the Williamson Lions to go ahead and take advantage of this tired Red Raider defense to end the third quarter.
9 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Ball sits on the 34. Hand off to Pugh. And that looks as if it's going to be no gain on the play. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter with Williamson all in control, 20-0. All right, we're between the third and fourth quarter. Time to reveal the answer to our Game of the Week Brainbuster. All right, Corey, Williamson is BC Rain's longest rival. They've played them 45 times. Who is their next longest rival?
From a Williamson standpoint, I'm just going to say.
But who's BC Rain's next longest rival?
I'm going to say, let's go C, Davidson.
C for Davidson. Get Miss Diane to hit the button. And the answer is D, Satsuma. They have met 37 times. Rain leads that series 22-14, Corey.
The Gators.
The Gators.
Here, when you start talking about a long-standing rivalry, that's very interesting when you start talking about BC Rain and Satsuma matching up that many times for that long of a period. And, you know, I definitely have to give my buddy, Coach Glenn Vickery, a shout-out, who used to be a former head coach here at BC Rain.
Right.
And as well as being near and dear to BC Rain's heart. I just love to see when you start talking about traditions and rivalries such as Williamson and Blunt and Williamson and BC Rain. You're talking about the Battle of the Bridge and schools being only 5 or 6 miles apart and cousins that live in different parts of the I-10 area going to different schools, as our Chick-fil-A winner just mentioned. He has cousins going to both schools.
Correct.
You just love to see great high school football rivalries and in front of a great high school crowd here at Lad People Stadium.
And speaking of crowds, ask Coach Yeldon, how was the stadium coming along? He says, going pretty good. The visitors' bleachers are up. They're starting on the press box and concession stands right now, so everyone's excited. So, Corey, this time next year, we'll have football on the dip again.
Well, it'll be interesting to see football on these own campuses.
Correct.
And, you know, we've had a lot of rain here the last 3 weeks. Weeks 1, 2, and 3 were very tough to play in, but Williamson's continuing to play tough here to start the fourth quarter of play, going for that kill shot on 2nd and 10, incomplete.
Keith Donald, the intended receiver, is going to take them to third down. No flags on the play as the BC Rain Red Raider Band plays. Decent turnout for a Thursday night, Corey. This actually, to me, looks like a Friday night crowd. Folks have come out to support both of these teams tonight.
The only show in town from a football standpoint.
That's correct.
And you love high school football games with great attendance on Thursday nights, as both of these schools do call Lad People Stadium home.
Third down for Williamson. They hand it off to Darion Pugh. Boy, he's got some room and gets it inside of the 15. Williamson back in the red zone once again.
That's what you start to see grabbing it there as Williamson's offensive line is really controlling the line of scrimmage. And you look at the downfield blocking as the Red Raiders are trying to get off of those blocks. Trayvon Gamble, the 5'5", 125-pound senior, is able to fight off that down the field. But it looks like we're going to have something that's going to cause Williamson to lose that great gain. And I don't know if it was.
It looks as if he signaled.
Illegal formation on the offense.
Illegal formation,
replay
right?
third down.
It's like it wouldn't be a false start at that point. So in legal formation against Williamson pushes them back to the 39-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and about 16 coming up here for the Lions. So that big gain is for naught.
Well, we'll see here, Al, whether they will decide to go back to the draw run game or continuing to pass it here as the clock continues to run in the 4th quarter.
Williams has time. Ball is tipped as he tried to get it to his receiver, Jeremiah Owens.
That's one of the things that we saw Williamson do when they were leading Alberta in the contest at 20-0. You still saw the Williamson Lions throwing the football, and with the clock being your friend, leading 20-0 in this contest as well, you can go ahead and find a way to keep the ball in play. You don't want to risk a tip ball for any type of momentum swinger for the Red Raiders, so that's something that the Williamson Lions just have to be very mindful of.
4th and 15 here. See if the Lions will actually go for it, if they'll do a little pooch kick, quick kick once again. Jeremy Williams looking to the sideline to get the call. BC Rain doesn't have anyone back, and there's a little quick kick, and that one is blocked. That's a live ball. I think Williams stepped a bit too far into the line. Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn on the sideline. What's going on, Kimberly?
Hey guys, as this competition continues tonight on the football field, there's also another competition going on in the stands on both sides. Both of the bands have been taunting each other all night. One of them will play and the other one will have their reply, and it is really getting the fans tonight excited as they continue to cheer on their team, and that in turn is rubbing off on the players. I saw a couple of the players on the field saying, come on, get louder, because that excitement is what is keeping them motivated and keeping them going tonight.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate that. They have definitely been keeping it loud tonight, trying to get the fans into it. And right now, BC Rain needs to get into it, but Williamson calls a timeout, their second timeout of the half, as Antonio Coleman wants to talk about things. I don't know if we're able to get that replay up of the attempted punt that Jeremy Williams had, but you could sense it was coming and not executed very well as Rain was able to block it. We don't have the replay up, so we'll stick it right here. 11-13 remaining in the contest, and BC Rain down 20-0. So this is interesting, Corey. Ladd has BC Rain with one timeout remaining. I thought I saw Jonathan King signal that it was Williamson's timeout, because Williamson still has 3. But we'll see as the game progresses here. It'll be 1st down and 10. Ball's going to be placed at the 42-yard line. Hand off to Bryce Dowling with the spin move. He may get credit for a half a yard there, Corey.
And credit this Williamson Lions defense of doing a good job of creating that run rain drought, so to speak, for the Red Raiders, as Bryce Dowling probably only has maybe 15 to 18 total yards of rushing on the contest.
Rain has been shut out 7 consecutive quarters here, as they were shut out last week and have not scored in the first 3 quarters of this contest. Amari Yielding just spinning and running, trying to get away from Williamson, but they clog him up in the middle. He did a lot of work to pick up maybe 2, Corey.
And I will say this, it was great pocket presence in regards to taking care of the football and not turning it over. As the defensive lineman closed down on his passing abilities, and he was able to go ahead and tuck that and have a couple of spin moves, but it's still going to bring up 3rd down and 8 yards to go now for the Red Raiders.
Ball sits at the 44-yard line. They send Bryce Dowling out in motion, setting up a screen. They get it to Antonio Williams, but there are no blockers there for him, Corey. He catches it and immediately tackled.
Well, Williams has at least 7 receptions in this contest, but as earlier in the game when he had some room to run after he caught it, none was available as there was a tag team tackle by Yusuf Clark along with Willie Maddox.
4th down coming up here for BC Rain. Ball at the 47-yard line. Very low punt going to the right. And it looks like BC Rain is going to down it at about the 25-yard line. So Williams is going to take over. Take a look at some of the contests that's taking place in the area tomorrow. Big 7A matchup, Baker and Daphne. That's going down over in Daphne. Also, Corey, we had Bryant last week, got the win against Citronelle, going out to MGM. I'm sorry, MGM going down to Bryant for that contest. MGM 0-4. Another big one as you look near the bottom, Theodore Spanish Fort and Viger and UMS Wright, big contest there.
And a little bit down the road here, the cannon may not be solid black as McGill and Murphy renew their rivalry to where the winner will go out and paint the cannon. So we'll see if it'll be blue or whether it will turn orange this time tomorrow night as those 2 teams, McGill and Murphy, renew their rivalry here at Land Peoples Stadium.
Definitely a Mobile tradition with that one. So a lot of action taking place in the area. Some really good ball games. So if you have opportunity to go out and support high school athletics in the area, log on to one of those GoFan sites, Corey, and get you some tickets. 2nd down and about 8 coming up here for Williamson. As the bands continue to go at it, as Kimberly Dunn pointed out to us earlier in the quarter. Hand off to Ellis McGaskin. He falls ahead for maybe 1, possibly 2. 3rd down coming up for the Lions.
Zion Hale, the 6'1", 250-pound junior, with the stop for the Red Raiders. And when you start talking about clock management here for Williamson, you definitely don't want to do anything to stop the clock. You want the clock to run and elapse as much time as possible on the play clock as well as the game clock.
Third down and about 7 yards to go. Empty set. Williams backed up by himself, just dumps it off to Lucky. And Lucky not so lucky as he is wrapped up by a few Red Raiders. One of the Williamson Lions loses his helmet. Leave one of the offensive linemen for them, Robert McMillan, so he'll have to come out of play. 4th down coming up for Williamson.
With that completed pass, it does allow the clock to continue to run. And BC Rain's going to get another opportunity here. We'll see if they're able to muster up any type of energy and get a second win. Kimberly mentioned the band trying to give the sideline some energy. We'll see if they're able to get something positive happening here.
Darion Pugh back to punt, but I believe we have a timeout being called by BC Rain. We'll take a break right here and come back, bring you more action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
If you're looking for fun, fashionable, and affordable jewelry, it's here. It's Paparazzi. We have a variety of colors and styles of bracelets, rings, necklaces, and earrings for all occasions and for every event. New styles are added daily, which means you are always up to date with the latest fashion. For that genuine bling, join me, Charmaine Watson, the real jewelry lady, on Facebook Live Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. It's cute, it's fun, it's fashion, it's $5, it's Paparazzi.
We welcome you back to the action here at Lab People's Stadium. After that timeout, Darion Pugh back to punt. Hakeem Green sets up at his 40. Ball is nowhere near where he is, but it does get a favorable Williamson bounce and rolls up to the 40, right to the feet of Hakeem Green. So he doesn't have to do a thing. BC Rain will get the ball at 6:19 at the 39-yard line.
And here's an interesting statistic for you, Al. Williamson 77-4 when allowing 10 points or less since the year 2000. And on the flip side of that, BC Rain's 3-76 since 2000 when scoring 10 points or less.
Yeah.
So definitely the magic number for both of these teams has been 10. And the Red Raiders not able to produce any offense as of yet here with 6:19 remaining.
And at this point, I know defensive coordinators John Mitchell and John Stanley want to continue this shutout. They've already had 2 shutouts this season. This will be the 3rd. And the way Antonio Coleman told us the other night, they kind of feel like they had a 4th last week against Viger, just one muffed punt, and that allowed Viger to get into the end zone. But the defense didn't allow any points, and Yelding loses his helmet. He'll have to come out.
And that's going to allow the backup to come in, and it looks like it's going to be Malachi Adams. But we'll see exactly who decides to take the snap, because that's going to be huge when you have a new quarterback in the game. The cadence and the size of the snap is a little bit different.
They're going to go with Marion Davis, or they will direct snap to Bryce Dowling out of a Wildcat. So they'll go to Dowling, let Davis block, and Dowling goes up the middle. That's what we're used to seeing from him. That's a 9-yard pickup, Corey.
And you see why we call him the bowling ball. As from his backup quarterback position, he is a running back by trade, running hard, getting downhill. And we see what happens when he picks up a head full of steam moving forward.
2nd and short coming up here. So we have a stoppage in play.
It's a cramp on the far sideline by Dowling.
Injured Red Raider. Yeah, that is Bryce Dowling over there. Next week, we're taking it back to 8 Mile as the Williamson Lions will travel up to face the Blunt Leopards. So we'll get back-to-back Williamson games here, Corey. Interesting ball game right there as Williamson will travel up to Blunt. So we'll be back on the air on Friday. No special edition for Thursday for us next week.
And what you do is you move into non-region play. That's
correct.
A non-region game for both of the teams, and halfway point of the season, when you do jump out of non-region play, it's something to keep an eye on for both Williamson as Blunt and Blunt. We'll see how Blunt plays tomorrow night, and depending on how, when you do play a non-region game this late in the season, sometimes you decide to rest certain players because the region games are the imperative ones and the ones that you really have to have in order to be successful. So that'll be something to keep an eye on that we'll talk about next week's game, who is active and who is not.
Who is, and at this point we haven't seen any major injuries for the Williamson Lions, so probably looking like a team similar to what they fielded tonight. We'll see next week when they travel up to Blunt. Only 1 turnover in the contest tonight, an interception thrown by Amari Yelding, but no fumbles or interceptions by Williamson so far. Under 5 minutes remaining in the contest. Williams comes into motion. Yielding back in the ball game. Completes that pass to Tristan Page. Page heads out of bounds at about the 38.
Well, it's a great job of rolling the pocket, and the Red Raiders have had a lot of success when they've rolled the pocket and made the easy pass as the cushion was given by the defensive backs of the Williamson Lions. But 4:35 remaining here, Al, as BC Rain definitely has the score on this drive here to go ahead and have any chance of getting the football contest a little bit closer than what it is so far.
And Marion Davis to the right of Yielding. Low snap, they fake to give it to him. Yielding takes off towards the numbers, and he goes out of bounds, picks up 2 yards on the carry, and stops the clock at 4:27 here in the contest. Corey, as we inch toward the end of the ball game, who are you thinking about possibly as your Career Tech Education player of the ball game?
Well, for the Williamson defense, you start looking at whose name you called a lot of, maybe Darian Pugh or Orrin Wilson Jr. Willie Maddox has been active as well as offensively for the Williamson Lions. Jeremy Williams and Jeremiah Owens, all possible candidates.
I understand. Take that into consideration. Second down here coming up for BC Rain. Bryce Dowling back into the ball game as Yielding pleading for his team to get ready, and I think they do beat the play clock. It read zeros, but there was some miscommunication, some confusion going on, and that play did not get off the way it needed to go as Yielding is sacked, taking his time to get up.
And he took a shot from Lavondre Roscoe, the 8th grader, defensive end, 5'9", 180 pounds. And you look at how awkward he lands, almost folded up backwards in that situation. So, you know, his back is not too happy about that blindside hit, but at least he didn't get hit flush to where he fumbled the football, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and close to 13 yards to go.
Playing from the 42-yard line of Williamson. Yielding going to take off, just throws it in the dirt. Notice how he threw that, Corey, at the receiver, but primarily in the ground, outside of the tackle box.
And threw it at the feet.
Sure
so
did.
Nobody could come away with a tip or a deflection, but it is going to bring up 4th down and 8 yards to go here for BC Rain, and trailing 20-0, they are going to send out the punting squad to possibly cause some type of special teams blunder by the Williamson Lions.
No one back for Williamson yet. And they're just going to let it possibly go into the end zone or let BC Rain down it, and it does go into the end zone for a touchback, so the gamble pays off for the Lions as they'll take control here at 3:17, pretty much with the ball game in their back pocket, and the crowd starting to thin out here on the BC Rain sidelines.
Well, if you're the Williamson Lions, you want to have ball security here the last 3:17 of the 4th quarter. You want to make sure that you do not turn the football over. You don't mind, go ahead and put it on your foot and punting it if you have to in this situation, but as long as you keep the clock running here on this drive, that's what's important for Williamson.
Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty on the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn bringing you special Thursday night football here for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Williams throws that ball. It is low to Darian Pugh. And Corey, that stops the clock. That one surprised me a bit.
Again, that's the same thing that you saw against Alberta, the late incompletions that did stop the clock. And that's something you definitely want to stay away from. That just goes to show the trust that passing game coordinator Jamarcus Russell does have in his quarterback, Jeremy Williams, to make the correct throw.
2nd and 10 after that incompletion. They give it to Darion Pugh as he plows past the 25-yard line, keeping that ball on the ground and letting the game clock run. Third down and about 6 coming up here for Williamson.
And the clock continues to run on that play, and here it is that if you're able to find a way to come away with 2 first downs, you're able to run that out. You definitely want to come away with a first down here, but if not, go ahead and punt the football away.
They go back to Pugh once again, and he is pretty much jammed up right at the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up 1. So it'll be 4th down coming up here for the Williamson Lions, and it looks like they're going to be punting, Corey.
Just ball security on special teams. You want to put toe to leather and make sure that you have a clean snap and a clean punt, and then make sure that you don't commit any penalties on special teams that will allow BC Rain to have any life. But if Williamson's able to come away with this shutout, it will be a big-time second shutout that they've had, because they were able to shut out Alberta as well.
Kick from Darion Pugh goes over to the left, kind of shanks it over there. So BC Rain's going to take over. 90 seconds left in the ball game. Corey, let's take a look at our Career Tech Education Player of the ball game. And I think we've got a unanimous choice there. Quarterback Jeremy Williams accounted for all 3 scores tonight, 2 through the air, and he ran in the first score for 1 yard. Great ball game by the young man tonight. I can't wait to see that quarterback comparison later on, see how many yards he put up through the air.
Well, what's important is that he went ahead and took care of the football, and Williamson did not have any offensive turnovers.
That is correct.
And that's what you want out of your quarterback. I mean, of course, you can go back and look at the film and see what reads that you did not make correctly, but at the same time, it feels much better than it did a week ago when you came away with a loss to Viger, not being able to get on the scoreboard. And tonight, you're able to get onto the scoreboard with 20 offensive points, and that's something that I know that looking forward to the next week's game against Blunt is going to be huge for the Williamson Lions.
There he is right there, number 1, right next to Sherman Williams right there. And the young man, number 16, that's some future right there for Williamson. Young man named Jonathan Johnson. Keep that name in mind. I believe he checks in like 6'6", 6'7", Corey. Big, tall, lanky kid.
A young man can flat out throw it, and he's a tremendous athlete for the Williamson Lions. And 2nd down and 10 yards to go for BC Rain here, trying to get on the scoreboard.
Dowling tries to swing it back the opposite way. It doesn't work. Coach Antonio Coleman told me Robinson also plays basketball for him. Johnson also plays basketball for Williams as well, of course. So we'll be calling his name coming up in a couple months possibly.
Shumbay Hunter has to be tremendously happy that he's a part of the basketball program. But 3rd down and 13 yards to go for the Red Raiders with 50 seconds remaining. We'll see if they go ahead and get a couple of more plays off.
Ball sitting at the 42-yard line of Williamson. Hand off to Marion Davis as he is brought down just outside of the 45-yard line. And that possibly may be the last play of the ball game. As Amari Yielding walking over to the sideline. The kids are getting ready to set up the congratulatory line there, Corey.
And when you start looking at this game, Al, as it is going to come to a conclusion, the Red Raiders had possession of the football to start the second half.
Sure did.
And still weren't able to have any positive offensive yardage, and that's credit to this Williamson Lion defense and what they were able to do and prevail in this shutout. Anytime you can get a shutout, Antonio Coleman being a defensive guy by trade, you know he has to be extremely happy with the second shutout here.
Well, actually, that's the third shutout of the season.
So that's even more impressive because you look at their win against MGM to start the season in the career of Antonio Coleman as head coach. You're also able to shut out the LaFleur Rattlers, Alberta, as well as BC Rain. That's 3 shutouts for the Williamson Lions, and I know Antonio Coleman's extremely happy about that.
And what's more importantly, a big region win tonight for the Williamson Lions. We set up the scenario telling you a win tonight for either team really goes a long way because this is a 9-team region, and by no means you're not out of it if you're BC Rain, but right now you're sitting at with 2 region losses. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, when you start looking at BC Rain's win over Viger and then losing to Faith Academy, and now you're talking about a loss to Williamson. You just have to get healthy if you are the BC Rain Red Raiders, and you learn from this loss and you continue to grow from it. As we'll take a look at the quarterback comparison.
Yeah, let's do that right now. Take a look at the quarterback. Well, these are the final stats. I thought we were getting the quarterback comparisons between these 2 quarterbacks, but we'll look at the stats while we have them right here. Let's scratch that, take it down to the field. Kimberly Dunn has Antonio Coleman, the winning coach tonight.
Coach Coleman, congratulations on your 3rd shutout win of the season, your first 2 being against LaFleur and Alberta. What does it mean to come away with a shutout victory?
I mean, it's just a great way to bounce back. You know, we let one slip away last week. We made a lot of mistakes, and the kids came back, they corrected those mistakes, and got a shutout. So it's donuts for the defense this week.
So what do you feel like y'all have learned this week that's going to help prepare y'all for next week?
It's just staying in the moment. With these kids, they got to stay locked in. You know, I got a lot of young guys playing that are still learning to play the game. I got a 7th grader playing that starts. I got an 8th grade running back. So I got all my wide receivers are freshmen except for 1 receiver. So I got a lot of young guys. And my quarterback, essentially, which he's a senior, but he's a freshman at quarterback. So, I mean, but that's a testament to my coaches and the great job that they do.
Yes, you were telling me a little bit about them and about how they just have a love for this game. How does that help translate to your students?
It's great, especially with most of these guys being from this community. Yeah. You know, Jamarcus Russell, Sherman Williams is a great guy that's been through a lot, and he does a lot for the kids also. So it's just great to have those guys around. They played at a high level.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again, Coach. Best of luck to y'all next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. It says it right there on the shirt. Why not Williamson? Corey, there's our quarterback comparison tonight. Jeremy Williams, 2 touchdowns through the air, and remember, he ran 1.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy Williams, Coach Coleman mentioned it, playing defensive end a year ago, switching over to the quarterback position. But Williamson Lions, Antonio Coleman mentioned that he has a great coaching staff, the only coaching staff that I know in the state of Alabama that has 3 former NFL players on the coaching staff. And Sherman Williams, Jamarcus Russell, and Antonio Coleman being the head coach. They do a great job with these young men, as does Coach Yeldon. But again, the difference in tonight's game was definitely the inability for the Red Raiders to score. They had great drives, just not able to produce points.
All right, next week we're taking it up to Blount. It will be Williamson versus Blount. We'll get to see these Williamson Lions once again, so make sure you join us next Friday. We'll have the pregame kickoff show at 6:50. For Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines, statisticians China Powell and Matt Moore, and for Corey Bounty, I'm Al Whedon, thanking you for joining us for another edition of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Williamson gets the win tonight, 20-0. Have yourself a great weekend.